I don't need to know. Gregor Insurance. Oh, I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, what's on?
Draisaitl. Plays it down back. Swing. Plays it. Swing. Shea Sizzle away the fourth. The lead is 13. Backs in. Tries to split the defense and lost the ball.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Draisaitl sets up next. The series is over. The Edmonton Oilers win it in overtime.
On Sports 1440.
Personally, plays it down back to the net. Jason's got it. Both scores.
Wolfsterian snaps it into the top corner. That'll make it 5-1 Florida.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Tries to split the defense and lost the ball. Foul. Bucket. One. From Shea Sizzle in the fourth. The lead is 13.
Well, wonderful Wednesday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram is always coming to you live. It's game day at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street, game one of the Western Conference Final tonight. The Oilers in Dallas to take on the Stars. We'll get to the lineups. Connor Brown, game time decision. He blocked a shot in the final game against Vegas. He had some time off, but he has skated the last few days. I think there's a good chance he's going to play, but I guess you never know until they get to the starting lineups. The Stars, they don't want to commit if they're going to go 11-7 or 12-6, but based on practice yesterday, they're going to switch up their lines, and they have to because the Ben Seguin-Duchesne line has done a whole lot of nothing so far in the playoffs at 5-on-5. They've combined for 1 goal and 2 assists. So they will look to revamp their lineup a little bit and move some guys around in hopes that gets somebody going. You got Duchesne with Johnson and Robertson, Steele with Seguin and Marchment. Bach will play with Dadonov and Jamie Benn if they go 12-6. And if they go 12-6, you might see Lyubushkin come out of the lineup. If Brown can't go, then you expect Victor Arvidsson to draw back in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. No change on defense. No change in goal with Stuart Skinner. The Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. That's Gregor50. And you'll get a $50 play free one at playalberta.ca. Now, remember, you use it every month. So if you already used it last month, feel free to sign up and you can get another one this month. On the show today, we'll have lots of Oilers and Stars talk. Daryl Ray, former NHL goalie analyst for the Stars, will join us. We got Speck. Well, also Yaremchuk, the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Rich Winter will be by, Business of Sport. We got an unbelievable guest today in the business of sport because many of you have seen the value of pro sports teams increase quite a bit. And, you're getting sold for, millions and in some cases billions of dollars. And what about a gentleman who has been involved in sales involving, the Ottawa Senators, the Flyers, the New York Yankees, the Golden State Warriors, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, just to name a few, NBA, NFL teams, the Giants, you got the Buccaneers. So you got all the major pro sports. And one guy who is at the center of all of it is going to join us today on the business of sports. So that should be very entertaining. Sal Galatiotto will join us from GSP, the Sports Bankers. That's coming up momentarily. Also, of course, lots on the Oilers. Did you watch the Eastern Conference Final last night? Is anybody really surprised? The Florida Panthers, their head coach, I didn't really love our game, even though they won pretty handily. Now, they did go long stretches without getting a shot on goal, but then the difference was when they got a shot on goal, they scored. Freddie Anderson. And everybody was like, oh, look how great he's playing. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't really get tested against Washington. They're barely getting 20 shots a game and barely any scoring chances. And last night, Florida pumped him. And they take a big lead in game one. And the stat of all stats, that this is not a misprint, this is real. The Carolina Hurricanes in the conference final have now lost 13 consecutive games. That is stunning. Who do they think they are? The Toronto Maple Leafs? Come on. Nah, we all know they can't be the Leafs. The Leafs never get to the third round. But seriously, Carolina got swept by the Penguins in 2009 in the conference final. They got swept by the Bruins in 2019, and they got swept by the Panthers in 2023, and now they lose game one on home ice. So you wonder how much that's in their psyche. We'll see. The Oilers, hey, they don't get swept very often. Obviously, against Colorado a few years ago. But the Oilers, after not being good in game one from 2020 to 2023, the Oilers now are 3-3 in game ones, including a win over Dallas last year, a win last series against Vegas. They actually went up 2-0 in that series. So the Oilers, they've figured out kind of how to be ready for game one. Just like they've made a lot of adjustments to their team game. Like they're the much better defensive team. Like you look at 5 of their last 7 games, the Edmonton Oilers have become like a dominant defensive team. When you look at the numbers, it's crazy. Game 5 against the Kings, they only gave up 3 high danger chances. Game 1 against Vegas, 6 shots and 2 high danger chances in the final 50 minutes of the game. They only allowed 5 the whole game. Game 2 against Vegas, only 7 high danger chances against. Game 4, 7 high dangers, 5 of them at 5-on-5. And then in game 5, Vegas had a total of 2 high danger chances in that game. And all those numbers courtesy of Clearsight Analytics. So the Oilers have become very, very reliable when they want to be defensively. So we'll talk about all of that, but we're going to do it a little bit earlier today. We're going to get to the business of sport. We'll get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League. They are expanding. Great opportunity to develop their skills for young girls, 12U, 14U, and now 16U. To sign up, go to femalesuperleague.com as we welcome in Rich Winter. Rich, welcome to the pod, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, Jason. Had a good day today. Was at an AI conference speaking with Megan Chaika on statistics, analytics, and artificial intelligence. So it was quite a bit of fun.
All right. Well, you helped line us up a very big guest. I'm excited to have him. Of course, he is the president of GSP, the Sports Bankers. Sal Galatiotto joins us. Sal, welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
Oh, my pleasure. And I love the Blackhawks jersey there, Rich. The best logo in sports.
Well, what you don't notice is Marian Hossa, that's his jersey. And I have a policy of only putting up Hall of Famers material so that no one else can complain. But this is unique because when Duncan Keith got hurt, he was given the A. Now, Marian always led by example, but in this particular case, Quenneville gave him the A to wear while Duncan was out. He didn't get a goal during the whole time Duncan was out, and his theory was, this A I will never wear again. It's way too heavy, apparently. So that's I kept that because he's only worn that about 8 games in his career. But it's
one of my favorite jerseys. The red Blackhawks jersey is fantastic.
It's the best. It really is among the best.
It is.
So, Sal, I see behind you, you've got a lot of different logos from teams. I'm guessing you've been involved in some of these sales. So I want to kind of go back to how you become one of the kind of the main guys when it comes to pro sports and the sale of their team. Again, kind of give us a quick, for our listeners, kind of a background and how you got into this.
Jason, I got into it like everything else in my life, completely by accident. I was running the East Coast region for a big French bank. Started looking around. This is in the late mid-90s at different businesses. I looked at sports. Sports was a mom and pop business. My first client was the San Antonio Spurs, and you could have purchased the Spurs for $80 million. 80. Okay, they were playing in an old football stadium that had a dome on it with a big curtain across the middle of it, and half of it was dark and half of it was a basketball court. And I got into the business early. I developed a lot of great relationships. And now when I look at the Stanley Cup, there are 4 teams left. The Panthers, Vinny Viola is one of my best friends. I love Vinny. We sold the Stars to Tom Gagliardi. Unfortunately, don't do anything with Edmonton or Carolina, but 2 out of 4 ain't bad. And what we do is we help people buy and sell these things, either the entire team or pieces of these teams. So the last control hockey sale I did was the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa, as I guess you guys know, is the 44th largest market in North America. It is like you can't fly there from LaGuardia nonstop. You have to go to Toronto or Montreal and get on a propeller plane. And we still were able to get $950 million US for that team, which was at the time the highest price ever paid for an NHL team. We had tremendous demand. There's nothing like sports. It's an asset class that it's not correlated to the stock market, really. There's a limited number of these things. So you have scarcity value. There's huge ego gratification value in owning one of these things. And if you run it right, you can make money. So it's a great business to be in. And, who do I deal with? Like 95% of the people that call me on the phone every day are billionaires. If you're not a billionaire, you're not getting into this business.
And it's definitely changed that way for sure, Sal. So when, like, for Ottawa, for instance, when they come to you and say, okay, Sal, you obviously have a lot of experience. We want to help you through the process. Do you work more with the existing owner who's going to sell the team, or do you work with guys who are looking, or gals who are looking to buy a team?
We do both, Jason. Now, you want to get the sell side because on the buy side, you have to pick one buyer and they could be 5 or 6 or 7 or 12 bidders. You may not pick the right bidder, right? I mean, some people, as the prices go up, they just want to get out. You want to be on the sell side. I love being on the sell side, but there's a lot of competition. We sold the Senators in an estate sale. Eugene Melnick had passed away. So the estate interviewed a number of banks. And then they have to decide, who do we want to pick to represent us? Who's going to do the best job and get us the highest price? And so, my firm is tiny. We have 9 people, but we have a huge percentage of the market because when we do get an assignment, we underpromise and overdeliver. So in something like Ottawa, we're dealing, we're competing against, I would assume, the big Canadian banks. We're competing against the Goldman Sachs of the world and the JP Morgans of the world, who have unlimited amounts of capital and thousands of people and you name it. And yet, we punch way above our weight. We're little, but we're mean.
But when
Kind of like Ty Domi.
yeah, touch me, you go me. Call me Ty Domi. My son loves that name from Ty Domi. Like you mentioned Ottawa and where they are, and obviously like the New York Yankees would be in a different category. But like on average, because have you noticed how much has changed? Because the NHL for a few years, some of the owners they brought in didn't turn out to be the best owners. They had some issues. Some of them had finances. Like, what's the background policy that goes into somebody who can even, sit down at the table to even get in the conversation now? How much has that changed?
That's really important. It's changed so much over the years. As the prices have gone up, the amount of vetting that you have to go through to even be able to get the financial information is huge. If you wanted to, I don't know, what's your favorite team, Jason?
Hartford Whalers, but they no longer exist. So
okay, so let's assume the Hartford Whalers.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite teams too. I love their team colors, and I actually somewhere around here have a old Hartford Whalers jersey. But
sick jersey.
Okay. Anyway. So let's assume they still existed. You wanted to bid on the Hartford Whalers; they were for sale. All right. So the first thing you would have to do is if I were representing the seller, you'd have to come to me. I would vet you. I'd want to know your financial information. I'd have one of my analysts go through everything and anything that's ever been written about you on the internet. Okay.
Oh, it's all positive, Sal. It's all positive.
I'm sure it is. You look like an honest man to me. But then you have to fill out an NHL application before I can even show you one number. I can't show you any of the financials. You go through the NFL. The NHL. The NHL's application is very thorough. It is a complete and very detailed examination. Once I get approval, and it's a preliminary approval for you, I can send you the financial information, walk you through it. You'll hire an investment banker, I assume, who will work with you on the buy side. But that's just to get into the bidding. All right. So it is very difficult, especially in the NHL, for anybody to slip through that isn't real. Okay. I mean, in the old days, it wasn't like that. I mean, we had the Spano scandal. We had, how many bankruptcies that the teams go through? And but that world is gone now. Everything is really tight. And you can't just say, you know what? Pick up the phone, call Sal. I want to bid on, the Hartford Whalers. I can't. Right. I'd have to go through a lot of hurdles to get to that point.
So does the NHL, Sal, do they, if they have somebody, they approach you now? Like, what's the relationship kind of with the NHL as an entity itself, or even the NBA or MLB? How does that work?
I have a great relationship with the leagues. You have to, right? But you only earn that relationship by being successful. If the league views every one of its franchises as a gem, right? And if you go to sell it and you can't deliver a really good price for it, you're not getting the next. I mean, I'm not getting a next chance. Look, if I'm JP Morgan and I screw up, I'm still JP Morgan tomorrow, right? The league can't say I'm not doing business with them. Me, I screw up, I'm done. I can't. So when I'm selling something, I got to be really sure when I'm pitching the business that I'm going to be doing a really good job to be able to sell that asset. And we have a huge database of people who over the years have said to me, I want to buy a team in Alberta. Okay. If one of the hockey teams in Alberta comes up, call me. I build that database. And so before I pitch the business and say I can do this, I'm pretty sure that I have people who are very qualified bidders that want to buy that particular team, say it's the Flames, okay, just picking one.
Yeah.
And so when I go and make my presentation, I can say, look, I think this is what it's worth. I think this, I'll probably, if I can get a frothy auction going, maybe get a higher price than that. I'm well connected with people that want this franchise. And so that gives me the confidence to really be able to go and compete for that business. Now, sometimes I win and sometimes I hire somebody else, but that's life.
Tell us the most intriguing deal you've done and why.
Well, the most difficult deal I ever did was on the buy side, and it was the purchase of the Chicago Cubs. And the reason that was such an incredible transaction was I got signed up. I had 3 prospective bidders approach me, and I had to pick one, and I picked the Ricketts family because they said they said the magic sentence. The magic sentence is this: this is the only team I want to own.
Okay.
That's the bidder I want. Okay. 6 weeks after they signed me up, Bear Stearns got into distress. I'm going to say they went bankrupt. People will correct me and say they didn't, but the federal government basically saved them and forced JP Morgan to buy them.
Right.
Let's see. It took 2 years to do the deal. During that time period, the world banking system almost collapsed. Lehman Brothers collapsed. AIG should have collapsed. The Tribune companies, which owned the Cubs, filed for bankruptcy. We had to buy the team through a bankruptcy court. Okay. And we still wound up paying the highest price ever up to that point for a Major League Baseball team. And it was an incredible journey just to get the deal structured and get everybody to say yes. And it was really challenging. It's never taken me 2 years to do a deal. And I was on the buy side. And and I can tell you something else to tell you how resilient this asset class is, that during that time frame where the world was basically, the financial world was on the verge of collapse, there were 7 control sales, 7 in the 4 major leagues. 6 of them were record prices. The 7th one was an insider deal where one of the brothers bought in the other brothers. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in that deal, I had an all-cash buyer, all cash, that would have made it the highest price ever paid for an NFL team up to that juncture. So there's no other asset class like this, because you can't say that about any other asset class in the Great Recession. You can't.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about, like you mentioned, obviously Edmonton had the deal. Daryl Cates was an Edmonton guy, and he bought the team, of course, from the old OEG. And, we've seen how Edmonton, I want to get into your thoughts on when they have the Forbes list. How accurate are those things, or is that just a pie in the sky evaluation sometimes? It comes out every year and some are going up or down, and how much that maybe impacts you and maybe for fans and all that. So we'll get to that when we return. It's the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave and 118th Street.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
With all the news about tariffs and price hikes coming our way, you have to be strategic with your money. St. Albert Dodge knows that and has some good news for you. Right now, all Ram 1500s are available with 0% financing for up to 72 months. So think about it. You can get into a brand new Ram 1500 now at pre-tariff prices, while selection is still good, and pay 0 interest on your financing. That keeps more money in your pocket. And that's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
Been waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowside, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Oodle Noodle Origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Not to get too personal, but when it comes to financial services and insurance, Cooperators does just that. Like the I'm definitely retiring early plan, or the hun, that old tree looks pretty unstable plan. Your future is personal. Your plans should be too. Cooperators, investing in your future together. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for one-stop financial services? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Get your power play amped up with eWell, supplying the city of champions in Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. eWell.ca is your partner in power.
Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Wednesday afternoon, we continue on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, you can get in the game. Your one-stop shop, casinos, live dealers, gaming, you got it all at PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, the Oilers and the Stars tonight. Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. For the 10th time in NHL history, the same two teams will play each other consecutive years in the conference final. The Oilers looking to become the 6th out of 10 to win both. So we'll see if that happens. Tonight, we're live at On the Rocks. We're going to be watching the game, all sorts of great deals. It's a Wing Wednesday. It's karaoke night after the game. It's going to be quite the party. We continue on in our business of sport. Very special gals joins us, of course. Sal Galatiotto joins us. He has brokered numerous deals involving the sale of NBA, NFL, MLB, and, of course, numerous NHL teams, including the recent sale of the Ottawa Senators. And Sal, when you go through this and you're doing all your research, because it comes out every year, you know, Forbes has their evaluation list for pro sports teams, and I've kept copies of it. I follow it, and I'm like, man, not much has changed, but somehow one team jumps up way higher, and then they go down to the next. How much stock should any of us average, media fan people put into the Forbes list?
It's an indicator, but it's very the amount of information they have is limited. So they look at the market and they kind of take a good guess at what the asset's worth. If you're in the market every day like I am, you know the amount of interest each franchise has. I mean, if people are calling me on the Oilers, okay, if the Oilers ever came on the market, you'd have people lined up from Edmonton to Calgary to buy them. I mean, they're an iconic franchise. I mean, they've had the greatest player in the history of hockey, maybe the history of sports, played for a long time with the Oilers, Wayne Gretzky. It's got competitive teams. It's in a city that, you know, is economically vibrant. It has a new building. I mean, keep going. I mean, but then there are other markets where you don't have that many people who would be really interested. Now, when you're in the market, you know that.
Okay.
Journalists don't really know that. They're not in the flow. Some of them are better than others, but it's tough. And then, really, if there's competitive tension when you're selling something and you have 4 or 5 really strong finalist bidders, then they will drive price. And
Right.
the fact is that we can run through all the numbers in the world. You know what something's worth? It's what somebody who has a big checkbook is willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, every Ferrari exported to North America is sold. Why? I don't know. I mean, because somebody wants a Ferrari. Somebody wants to buy a $50,000 watch. These assets are really unique. They're scarce. They're specific, right? And they don't come on the market very often. So if you're somebody with real deep pockets and you love a specific team and it comes on the market, if you don't win that bid, you may not get a chance to buy it ever. May never come back on the market.
How much does, like Calgary, you mentioned them, they're building a new arena. How much would that increase if they all of a sudden finish building that from before they had the new building, Sal, till after they have the building? How much extra? Because if the building, let's just say for easy math, the building costs you $500 million to build, for argument's sake. You're obviously are you gonna 5 times? Like, does that give you like $2.5 billion extra value to your team? Like, is it $1 million? 100?
No, it helps. I mean, once you have the shovel in the ground, it doesn't matter whether the building's completed or not. You know it's going to get built. It's been financed, right? Yes, it's going to improve the financial dynamics of the team. The team's going to make a lot more money in a new building than the old building. And so you're going to have more demand for the team because now you have less worry that, am I going to be able to make money? Yes, I'm in a new building. I should be able to make money if I run the team right. But again, there's a lot of variables here, right? Because the big variable is, do I know what I'm doing running the team? Because you can have the most beautiful building in the world, but if your team sucks, nobody's coming to watch it. I mean, let's be honest, right? And you have great owners who hire the best people and let them run the teams. And then we have other people who we will not name that don't do that. Yeah. And when you don't do that, I'm not going on a cold Tuesday night to go watch a hockey game if my team is like out of it in the first month. It's hard.
Oilers fans live through that for a long time, Sal. We got some tech. Do you remember, Sal, being in the business when the Jim Ball Silly saga was going on in the National Hockey League? Gary Bettman. Were you involved in that at all? And that's like, it's long ago, but it's not that long ago in the real world. Like, lots has changed since then, right? Like, he wanted to buy the team, then he was playing. Like, I don't think he went about it the right way, trying to say, I'll buy the team, then, and I'm just going to move it wherever I want. And obviously, I think Gary Bettman was like, nah, that's not how it's going to work. But from your vantage point, a guy who is directly involved in sales of teams, what did you make of that whole saga?
It made no sense. You can't not be the owner of the team, 1, not be a member of the league, 2, and say that I'm going to buy a team, maybe, and just pick it up and move it. How do you do that? You're a member of a league, right? And you have to get league approvals to do anything. You don't start selling season tickets in someplace else before you own the team. It made no sense. It was, I'm going to be kind here. It was freaking stupid. Okay? That's not the way you do it. Okay, you're joining a club. The NHL is a club. Okay, it's like you don't want to piss off the other members of the club before you're actually a member of the club, because you'll never become a member of the club if you do that. I mean, it's like there are procedures you need to follow, and it doesn't matter how much money you have. You still need to follow those procedures, or else you're not getting it done.
Do you find in your workings of the 4 leagues, I'm assuming, are they all on par now when it comes to, everything that you have to do to broker a sale, or is it easier some leagues to work with from your vantage point, or they're all pretty much the same now in 2024?
They're all pretty much the same. They're very professional, really smart. Look, I'm going to say something that's going to tick off half the people that are watching this. But I think Gary Bettman has done a tremendous job with the National Hockey League. I don't care what anybody says. I remember what these teams were worth when I got into the business, and I look at what they're worth today, and you cannot tell me that he has not built a tremendous league structure. The collective bargaining agreement has been a huge success for both the players and the owners, and the demand for hockey teams is, in my mind, incredible. I mean, if you know how to sell them, you will get really strong prices. And a lot of that goes to the structure of the league and the leadership in the league. And, I know every time Gary comes out to give out the Stanley Cup, he gets booed, but boo away. There's a reason this league is where it is, and it's so financially strong. And he's a big part of that reason.
And I wouldn't disagree with you, Sal. I think what I think is most, if I was to give Gary on his report card, his A+ comes from the footprint expansion that he created, because we are still in many ways a regional sport for a lot of reasons that sometimes I think the league deserves some responsibility for. But at the end of the day, I think he did 2 things incredibly well. A+ for his expansion footprint planning, sticking with it, even though he finally had to give up on Phoenix, and sticking with it through thick and thin. And I think the other thing that people don't really give him a lot of credit, maybe us internally do, his ability to effectively manage a group of 32 billionaires, which probably total to 45 or 50 when you add up who's individually involved in the franchises. He's done a marvelous job of controlling his country club and making sure everybody wears a shirt and tie to every single shirt and tie event, right?
I agree. And that's hard to do.
Very hard.
And the other thing in hockey is, which makes it very different than the other sports, is hockey south of the Canadian border is a sport. North of the Canadian border, it's a religion. Yeah. There is no other sport that challenges hockey in Canada. It is the dominant sport. In areas of North America and in the United States where hockey is new, I mean, think about it. We're talking about one of the 4 finalist teams is in Florida.
Yeah.
A second one is in Dallas, Texas. We're not talking about traditional hockey markets. We're talking about places where people see ice in their drinks.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other place is Carolina, which is not, I'm not thinking that's a traditional hockey market. You have one traditional hockey market, which is Edmonton, right? So that's pretty amazing that footprint, as you said, Rich, has really been expanded. When I was a kid, there were 6 teams in the NHL.
Yeah.
6. I mean, I was lucky enough to be in a city that had a team, but a lot of places had no teams, none.
What was Chicago Blackhawks doing to miss winning a Stanley Cup for 50 years in a 6-team league? They had to try really hard at that. Regardless of your age.
Rich, I'm a Ranger fan, okay? I know what it feels like to lose every year. 6 teams, and they couldn't win. I mean, really?
It's hard to believe, isn't it? It's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe when I watch the playoffs that the Maple Leafs every year in the largest, wealthiest hockey market in the world. There's no debate to that. When's the last time they won the cup? 57?
67.
That is almost impossible.
It is. Joins us here today in the business of sports. Sal has brokered numerous sales of professional teams, the NBA, of course, MLB, NHL, the NFL as well. Now, what about expansion? Because we know it's coming for the NHL in the near future, Sal. Do you broker deals, or is that just simply the NHL, or would you bring a buyer to them? How does an expansion deal work different for you than a sale of an existing team?
We would bring a buyer because we're not the seller. The league is the seller, right? They determine where the franchises will be located. I don't know where that'll be. I have a pretty good idea where the NBA is going to expand. I think that'll be Vegas and Seattle. NHL, don't know. But when an opportunity becomes available, people will approach me. I'll kind of sort them out and decide who I want to represent. And then we'll go and follow the league procedures, figure out what we need to pay to win. And sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
You're going to go looking for that one party that says, I only want to buy a team in that city.
Yes,
ideally.
Because if it's somebody who says, yeah, I might want to buy that team, I'm going to spend 6 months working with somebody who at the end says, I'm not writing that extra $20 million check. I'm out. And I've spent 6 months for nothing, getting paid zero. I mean, give me a break.
Sounds like a hockey agent. But Sal, given we talk about numerous franchises, but I read, obviously there was a tremendous tribute to you in the Sports Business Journal and recently and what you accomplished. But the numbers are staggering. Like, what are we talking about? The total franchise values that you've brokered. It's tens, if not hundreds of billions, isn't it now?
It's a lot. I don't even know. I don't keep track of it that way. But think about this. Between control sales and limited partnership sales, since I started in 97, I've done 133, I think. I mean, they can be pieces as small as $50 million or a team that sells for several $billion. A lot of transactions, met a lot of really interesting people. And people love their teams. I mean, that's the thing that fans don't understand, is that some of the owners, they're as upset as the average fan is when they lose. It's not about the money. It's about winning. And they put their heart and souls into these things. And some of them don't. Some of them are in it to make money. And, that's the way the world works. If I'm a fan of a team, I want to be a fan of a team who has an owner who wants to win as much as I do.
Well, that's a good point. Sorry, Dan, but that's a good point. What are they looking for? Like when you're dealing with a sale of a franchise, like Ottawa, which the family was pretty ingrained and a big part of it. How much leeway is how often do they take a little less money because they know of the passion for the buyer? Like where are those two?
Never. It's not about the money. It's about the money. Everybody tells me I want to find the right buyer for my team. Right. And when somebody bids $100 million more, he becomes the right buyer.
That makes sense. But
and Sal, in your experience, when you mentioned that the owners are passionate, they care about the team. Now that could be good. Now they're emotional and like a fan or a media guy, they make a rash decision that isn't great. But when you watch these teams, do you find the owners who are truly passionate about the team, do they have more success than the ones who just want to make money?
I would say the ones that go the extra mile to hire the absolute best people and pay them, because to get the best people, you need to pay them, and leave them alone and let them do their jobs. They are, over the long term, more successful than owners that either don't care about the team and just look at the financials of the team, or are constantly becoming experts. They think, I know how to run a baseball team. No, you don't. I mean, you know how to make money in technology, but that doesn't mean you know how to run a baseball team.
Yeah. Very different. Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair comment. And now we just saw Charles Woodson buy a small minority of the Cleveland Browns. Because the price of a lot of these teams now are so expensive, are you going to, we see a lot of former athletes because they're getting a lot of money now, right? Former athletes never could get in the ownership game because they didn't make enough money. But now, like LeBron James has talked openly about, he wants to be part of that Vegas team. Is that going to be a new trend? We see Tom Brady in the NFL. Do you think you're going to see more minority pieces sold off here in the next decade so there's more people in ownership groups of teams?
I hope so. I mean, I think it's a great investment for former athletes to invest in a sport they know and love. These things are appreciating. I mean, you have to get in at the right price, and you have to be judicious in how much money you actually invest, because you want to be liquid, and these are roughly, these are illiquid assets, really. Although you can sell out if you want. I mean, there is a secondary market for this stuff. So I hope that trend continues. If that trend continues, I think it's good for sports, because you're going to have people that really love the game and they want to invest in it. And in the final analysis, if you love something enough to put your own money into it, that says a lot about the sport.
And speaking of sports, we've seen the WNBA has grown a lot. For many years, the NBA helped it. Now it kind of, makes a lot of money. It's good. The PWHL is one league, and they're expanding, and they kind of control each team. It's not like there's individual owners at all. But you look at North American sports, and then Sal, have you ever done like Premier League and stuff like that? Like, have you dabbled over there in Europe? Because, they're passionate over there as well. But even the price tag of some of those teams is much higher than here in North America.
I've done a few deals in Europe. The problem for me is, as I said, we have a 9-person firm, and I can't pick up and spend 6 weeks in Milan working on some deal that may or may not happen.
Okay.
So I generally only get involved in Europe when I have an owner who's a client of mine who says, guess what? Now I want to buy a team in, I don't know, Birmingham. Pick a city. Okay, right. I can't say no. So pack the bags and go over. I try not to do that. I try to stick to North America. I hate promotion and relegation. There is no way to predict it. And so it can turn a good investment into a very bad investment. In the 4 major leagues here, it doesn't matter how bad you are at operating your team. You still own a team in the league. I mean, you could be the worst judge of talent in the world, and your NHL team can finish out of the playoffs by 1 million points. It's still an NHL team.
Right.
It has value, right? And someone will buy it, because everybody that buys a team, and this is a law. You could put this down. They always think they're smarter than the guy who's selling the team. And if you won the Stanley Cup 4 years in a row and you wanted to sell your team, the guy buying the team thinks he can do a better job than you.
Oh, okay.
I've never met anybody who thinks he's not smarter than the seller.
Yeah. No, you would know. Now, before I let you go, Sal, I want to ask you talked about how your ideal buyer is someone like, this is the only team. So if you could buy one team in North America, Sal, what team are you buying?
Oh, come on. I came here got to the United States in 1958, got off a boat from Sicily. I started as a shoe shine boy. Okay, I've worked loading trucks at Canada Dry bottling plants in Maspeth, Queens. I've been a waiter, a messenger. When I got here, I got my first transistor radio, and I started learning English by listening to the New York Yankees. And if I could buy one team, no matter what the financials, no matter how much money I'd have to spend, if I invented cold fusion and saved the world, it would be the Yankees.
The Yankees. Now, I'm assuming, have you been to like a Yankees championship game? Or you mentioned the Rangers. Have you been to any of
the Yankees are one of my biggest clients, so I'm at a lot of World Series games when they make it to the World Series.
Okay. Nice. Awesome.
We have a great relationship with the Steinbrenner family going all the way back to George. Represented the team for 25 years. So great relationship with them. Love the brand. Look, I love the Rangers. They just don't love me back. They don't win. It's like there's nothing I can do about it. And And that's one of the great things about sports, by the way. There are a number of academic studies that show that if you're 9 years old and you're wearing the hat of your favorite team, you're more likely to change your religion than to change your team affiliation. Think about that. Think how sticky this product is. If you're an Oilers fan and you move to, I don't know, your company moves you to Winnipeg, are you becoming a Jets fan? No. You'd rather kill yourself than become a Jets fan. And even if you're a downtrodden Leafs fan and you retire to Florida, are you becoming a Panthers fan? No. There's no way. It's not happening. It's my kids yell at me because I have a whole bunch of different clients. And when I travel, my clients give me stuff. They give me hats. And I make the mistake of giving my granddaughter a hat from a non-Yankee hat. How's that?
Oh, the Mets.
And my son was yelling at me. He's like, "What are you doing to my daughter?" I'm like, "It's a red hat. Leave." She doesn't know what it is. No, she can't wear that. She's had a fit. I mean, this is an incredible business.
Yeah, people are. There are very few things in life that get people as emotionally invested in something as sports. I think that's obvious. It's great for our. It's why we have sports talk radio. People are invested in it. It's fantastic. Right. They love it. They love it when they win. They hate it when they lose, but they still keep coming back.
But they always come back. Listen, how many years have I come back to the Rangers? They always lose. I mean, they always find a way. Was it 97 was the last time they won?
94.
Oh, 94. Okay. Yeah. I mean, think about how long that's been.
But the key, Sal, you just have to buy a couple of players from Edmonton, and then they'll fix it all for you. Unfortunately, that's the model. And unfortunately for Rangers fans, I think Connor will probably.
The last time we did that, it was Mark Messier, and it was a really good move.
Yeah. I don't think McDavid's going to the Big Apple, though.
I don't think so either. So you're going to be in misery for a while.
You have to look for something else there.
You know what?
Well, Sal, this has been fascinating, man. It's talking to someone from the inside, and that's what we love about the business of sports. There's so many different avenues about the business. Congratulations, continued success, and we'll talk to you again down the road when you make your next sale.
All right, and good luck in the Stanley Cup.
Hey, Sal, thanks for doing this. Great seeing you.
I loved it. My pleasure, Rich.
Okay, take care.
All right.
That was Sal Galatiotto, who, of course, from GSP, the sports bankers, and they help facilitate many sales, whether he's with the buyer or, as in this case, the Ottawa Senators helped broker that deal. And, of course, $950 million for the Sens. Not bad. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, live and on the rocks, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's two things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym. As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers, and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Garage Superstore by Premier Built. Garage is the ultimate destination for everything garage, storage solutions, cabinets, vehicle hoists, accessories, and even Traeger grills. Visit our massive 8,000 square foot showroom on Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Game day on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Jason Gregor alongside Rich Winter, Connor Halley. Of course, the business of sport continues on today. Rich has fantastic with Sal. Obviously, that's somebody you've known for quite a while. How'd you cross paths with him? You're not really in the business of selling sports teams.
Well, I've always made it my business to get to know people in the business. And I think at one point I was in New York and, there's times when you're on the road. Historically, not so much now. I try and go on non-game days, so I'm not wasting as much time as I used to when you go on a game day, because you got players who are having pregame naps and they go to the game and you don't have dinner till 11. So I'd always make a habit of looking into maybe my Rolodex back then or my phone and seeing who I should connect with. And I just gave Sal a call one day and we went over and had a visit. And as a result of that, he's a relationship guy. I like to think that I'm a relationship guy. And as a result of that contact, one of my dear friends bought a fairly big chunk of one of the baseball franchises that he brokered. So he's a very affable guy, great, just a great personality, unique personality, has probably more stories that he can't tell. And we wished he would have from all the dealings he's had. But, I just make, I think it's important to know these people, right? Because you never know. It's funny. He did say, he did call me when the Edmonton franchise came up for sale by OEG and suggested I buy it. And I think I fell very clearly into the category of the guy who couldn't write the check at that time. But, back then you actually might have bought the Oilers almost for nothing because the franchise was still deemed valuable enough. Much of the money you used to purchase it, you could have borrowed. So really, quite frankly, a few of us might have got together, got a loan through Sal, obviously, and might have bought it. But that ship sailed. Those days are gone. It's much more expensive now. But just a great guy, really in tune with the sport. Just a real honorable, trustworthy guy that has had a really interesting life.
Now, before we let you go, Rich, I know you're doing some groundbreaking AI-powered stuff, and you're launching a new platform, and you're looking for some families who are interested, who have young players Now, does it have to be a hockey player, or is it just, it's young hockey players and their families to do a special research project? What are you looking for from these families? They could just text me if they're interested after they listen to your answer. Then I can send them the email to email you if they want to take part. How do they? What do you?
I think. I mean, what we're doing is we're building some AI-driven new platforms, which will allow players and fans, young fans, older fans, to connect in a way that they never would have been able to otherwise. So what we're really looking for is just having a couple of Zoom calls with groups of a couple of dozen people, talking through the things that interest them, and it really will be a project designed around what they would want to talk to about a particular player if he was in their living room. And AI is going to allow us to do some very unique things in this particular arena. And it would just be, I think it's interesting if there was an opportunity to connect with an avatar of a particular player. Parents are going to be really excited to hear that that player doesn't eat a particular type of, unhealthy form of food, or there's ways that, I think there's opportunities for these platforms to be educational, to help players. We talked about stick calibration the other day, helping get an understanding of how players really should train, giving parents advice. And they're basically going to be able to connect with the deep and meaningful knowledge that the players themselves have that will be presented in a unique way. And we'll just be part of trying to identify the things that interest them. So I think they'll find it interesting. We'll do on these Zoom calls, we'll show a little bit of the technology so they'll see that firsthand before anybody else does. And they'll just become that group of people that we're going to rely on to give us the information we need to make sure that these platforms are able to deliver conversational information that would be the same kind of conversational information they would seek if they had that opportunity to have dinner with Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, Calvin Pickard over at their house. It's going to be very interesting. The technology is moving quickly and creating some unique opportunities. And we will be very graciously excited to have people participate, but I think they're going to find it fascinating.
So you're looking for about 10 people?
Oh, we'll do a lot. We'll do as many as will show up, and we'll do different segments. So, we'd like to do, sort of 2, 3, 4 dozen in groups of about a dozen, maybe 2 dozen. So that'll give us a pretty good broad understanding. So if you get to about 24, 35, 48 folks, you can shut her down, but we'll look at a large group like that.
Okay. So anybody out there listening, if you're interested, send a text, and then I could send you Rich's email, just because if I say it, you probably will write it down wrong. He couldn't come up with a simple one. He has this very special email. So,
well, I think the thing I would say too is, make sure that it's parents and children. Ideally, we'd like them to attend together, because I think that it's going to give us some really robust discussions, which will be interesting. So, really don't want a 14-year-old young man or woman on the phone without his parents for obvious reasons. So, if your son or daughter is 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, to really want to participate, make sure you and mom are on the phone.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Or on the Zoom, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no 8-year-olds with a phone texting us. That would be.
Well, that's another story.
Yeah. If you're interested, send a text 833-401-1440. I can send you Rich's email, and then you can be part of something that's going to be moving forward for AI that allows young players to communicate with pro players. So pretty interesting project. Rich, great stuff, man. We will chat with you next Wednesday. Have a good week.
Yeah, well, let's hope the best defensive club wins tonight, and it's kind of hard to believe that is our Oilers, right?
Well, they've been pretty good, 100%. Yeah. Hey, it's like you read my game day write-up. I like it. Keep reading it. That's great. That's right. Rich Winter joins us every Wednesday here on the Business of Sports. Usually we do it at the 4 o'clock hour, but we switched it this week just so we could get Sal on. That was fascinating. And we got lots of texts from people who really enjoyed that interview with Sal. If you missed it, I highly recommend it. A guy who brokers the deals for $950 million sale for the Ottawa Senators has done, of course, the New York Giants and the NFL and the Yankees and many others in the NBA and MLB, etc. So if you missed that, I highly recommend checking out the podcast later or jasongregor.com. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on now, where you can get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models. See more at gmccanada.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Oilers down in Texas, taking on the Stars. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. We've got pregame coverage for you at 5 o'clock with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson right here on Sports 1440. in the association. According to reports, Oklahoma City guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is named the NBA's most valuable player. The Hamilton, Ontario native beat out Nikola Jokic after finishing runner-up last year to the Nuggets. Star joining Steve Nash is the only Canadian to win the award. Nash won the award back-to-back in 05 and 06 with the Phoenix Suns. SGA finished the NBA's leading scorer with 32.7 points per game, adding 6.4 assists and 5 rebounds a night. On the court, you got the Pacers and Knicks winning Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final from New York. Tip off at 6 o'clock in that one. In the majors, Jays taking on the Padres once again out in Toronto. First pitch set for 5:07. Right now, Royals lead the Giants 6-2 in the bottom of the fourth. Also in the fourth, the Twins have a 1-0 lead over the Guardians. And the Twins and Guardians, they wrapped up the game from Monday night. Twins winning 6-5. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear from members of the Oilers, talk to Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation, and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash
You and
system, all
welcome.
you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling
Welcome to the
clean.
Jason Gregor Show. Hey, how are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. It's sports. Sports.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo
Dang,
Cars
last
Edmonton.
Jasper
It's
Ave
the final
and
month to
108.
lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from
Play
1.49% and save
Alberta.ca.
$5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid
Game
from
day on Sports
0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
April showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on some of our most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news, we have a great selection of Buicks and GMCs. Plus, Costco members may be eligible for an additional $1,200 discount. What are you waiting for? Spring into Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick.
We're making it easy. Go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk. Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Spring is sprung at the Varsity. Fresh new flavors are here just in time for the sunshine. Meet the delicious new spring feature menu with choices like the Spring Fling Burger and the Bourbon Glazed Brisket Sandwich, served with endless forever fries. Try the new Hearty Beef Stew and the Pulled Beef Rib Poutine too. No meal is complete without dessert. Sip on the new Leprechaun or Bailey's milkshakes for some extra goodness. Check out the Varsity at White Mud Crossing. Find the full menu and order online at varsityburgers.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. The Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, live on Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It is game day, boys and girls. The Oilers and the Dallas Stars, the puck drop at around 6:20 tonight. Should be fantastic. Looking forward to it. Hey, Oilers fans, you've had a week off. What have you done for a week? That's right. A week off. They haven't played since last Wednesday. So now, I know we've had a lot of text people coming in concerned about the layoff. Fair, but remember, Greg, they didn't play very good in Florida. They're down 3-0. True. But do you remember game one? The Oilers outshot them. What did they? 32-18. Bobrovsky was great. Edmonton gave up 2 goals. They just couldn't score. And if we remember, Kevin Woodley had given us his scout report on where to shoot on Bobrovsky. And for the first 3 games, the Oilers were like, we're not going to do that. And then the last 3 games were like, well, maybe we should. And then they started scoring. So the one thing the Oilers have done incredibly well under Chris Knobloch is as the series goes along, they figure out what the opposition likes to do or where there's a weakness in what they're doing, and they expose it. The Oilers from games 4 to 7 under Knobloch are 16-2. 16-2. They are 7-11 in games 1 to 3. Now, they just, of course, won games 1 and 2 in Vegas. So after losing game 1 and 2 against the LA Kings. But progress. They did win game 1 against Dallas last year, then lost games 2 and 3. So I look at the Oilers, and a good start would be key for them for sure, as we saw earlier against LA. And I do think that Dallas is better than LA. The Oilers, I wouldn't worry too much about a break. Cons, look it up. Didn't they have 4 days between games from the Kings to the Golden Knights? Maybe it was only 4. Maybe it was only 3.
Oh, it was May 1st was the final game against the Kings, then May 6th against Vegas.
Yeah, okay. So they had 4 days off, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Yeah, so they had 4 days off in between, right? Then they played. So, a little bit more here. Right, they've had 6 days off in between games because they played last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now they're playing tonight, so 2 extra ones. But Connor Brown obviously could use it, and we'll see. We do have a lot of texts. Hey guys, I have to say, Gregor, you always find interesting people. That was a fascinating interview. Thanks for that. Got a lot of those from Nick and Kalo and Chris and many others. Craig. I do like this one from Craig. Hey, guys, I had to cancel my 2:30 doctor's appointment last minute and pay $50 penalty just to listen to the rest of this interview. Well done getting them on. Well worth paying it again someday down the road as I would listen again and again. That one comes from Craig. I love it. Well, Craig, that's dedication. $50 to cancel the doc's appointment. I hope he got in quick again, though. Just should have said, hey, guys, I'm here. I'm just in the parking lot. Give me a few minutes. But I love it. That's dedication. Dedication to Sports 1440. I love it. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton as the May Day event continues on, but only for another 10 days, where you can finance or lease a Volvo XC90 plug-in hybrid for 1.49% and save an additional $5,000. Great vehicles, better service, better prices. Right now, VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. And we'll hear from Chris Knobloch. First of all, Connor Brown, game time decision, according to Knobloch. So, that means we could see Victor Arvidsson, and Knobloch talks about the confidence he has if Arvidsson comes back in.
Absolutely. He'll be ready, and he's looked good in practice. And I know the amount of games he's played and how well he's done. Not having him in the lineup with everyone available has been a difficult decision as it is. So if somebody's not available to play, I have no hesitation to have him in the lineup.
Yeah, well, hey, Brown's played really well. But you know what? Hey, they've had other guys in and out. Brown, in case you're wondering, he blocked that shot against Vegas, and he has skated every day, so that's a good sign. But maybe you're just not feeling like you have the explosiveness yet. Special teams for the Oilers. The power play is still 25% in the playoffs, which is good, but it's 0% on the road, and it was only 9% in the series against Vegas. So the importance of special teams and how maybe they can get the power play producing, because they're creating chances, they're just not finishing.
Yeah, 5-on-5 is important, but probably the difference of most series are the special teams, because the 5-on-5 play at this point of the season where teams are so good and the difference is so minimal that it usually comes down to the special teams. And, they've got the penalty kill and power play going very well for them right now. So it's going to be a big task for us to be able to win that battle, but obviously it's going to be an important one. The changes that they've made, obviously adding Ratnan at the end of the season has improved their power play, which has always been a good power play. And then the penalty kill, they just, with Heiskanen coming back, there's another good penalty killer. They've got, it's well coached, and it's at top of the league.
Now, what about Mikko Rantanen? Now, here's some unreal stats about Rantanen. So Rantanen leads the NHL in points with 19. He's got 17 of those points in 5 games. That's unreal. 3 times he's had 4 points. Then he's got a 3-pointer and a 2-point game. Like, he's been dominant. In the other games, he only has 2 points. So he's kind of the epitome of all or nothing right now. So what is Knobloch's approach to Rantanen?
I think physicality is important on anybody, but one thing you be careful about how physical you are, that a big, strong guy like him can spin off checks and get good position on you. So yes, you want to be physical, but you also can't give up the inside positioning. I think with checking anybody, I think the most important thing is just checking them tightly, not giving them time and space. You give them that time and space, they're able to see the ice better. And so, yes, we want to be physical, but I think more importantly, we have good sticks and breaking up plays and not allowing passes getting through you.
You don't want to let him get hot. That's the key. It seems like if he gets rolling, and some games you're like, oh, we got him, and then boom, hat trick in a period. 4 points in a period. Hat trick in another period. Like, that's what's crazy about his playoffs, man. Like, once he smells something, he just seems to just roll. So the Oilers have to kind of slow him down. Also, Knobloch talked about how, last year at this time, Kane wasn't healthy. Draisaitl wasn't healthy. And how having a healthy Kane and what difference he's seeing the impact for his team with a healthy Evander Kane.
Almost more like just with your health, so just being able to move up and down the ice, and your agility and your speed, your explosiveness is very important no matter what position you're playing. Definitely important for Evander with the way he plays. He plays with a lot of physicality, finishing checks, winning battles. So anytime you're not 100% and you're far from being 100%, but trying to play through it, it just hinders you. And then not only that, it also just messes with your confidence, your psyche, and just feeling that you can't make that play. So, he was given everything he had last year during the playoffs and through the regular season for that matter. But it's just not the same as when you are healthy. And now a lot of credit to him, coming back. He is healthy now coming back at this time, not playing for 10 months, coming in and playing in the playoffs when things are really ramped up, especially that first round. And for him to come in and find his game as quickly as he did, that's not an easy thing to do, but fortunately he did do it, and he's helped us quite a bit through these first 2 rounds.
The program, your Rem Truck will join us next. We got 5 questions. We got spec. Also, we will hear from Daryl Ray on the Dallas side of things as we go wall-to-wall coverage, Oilers and the Stars. We are live at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street, your place to watch the game tonight. It's Wing Wednesday, boys and girls. Stop in. You get wings. You got the specials on for happy hour before the game even starts, and drink specials all throughout the game, and then it's karaoke night. Maybe you'll be singing the night away with a victory at OTR Jasper Ave. 118th, it's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Grant Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower, plus the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
It's playoff time. Let's go. From pre- and post-game shows to analysis from Kevin, Loside, and Jason. This is going to be a fun run. For all things hockey, lock it in to Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Sometimes you just want a break from the routine, from the same old, same old. Sometimes you need to go to the Ridge, because the Ridge Social Eatery St. Albert has so much going on. Game day specials, Father's Day specials. The patio is now open because better weather is here. Speaking of, the Ridge also has some highly anticipated summer features coming soon. The same old ain't got nothing on the Ridge. For all the details and more, check out the Ridge socials on Instagram, Facebook, and at theridgesaintalbert.com.
I'm not just a person who works on the roads. I'm a mom. When I'm out here doing my job, my kids are waiting for me at home. When drivers don't slow down or move over, it makes a risky job even more dangerous. So please, when you see flashing lights, slow down, move over if you can. Help us all get home safe.
Learn more at alberta.ca/roadworkersafety. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.323 on a game day. Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Also, you can watch us live. Tickles your fancy at Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. There's lots and lots to get to. The Oilers and the Dallas Stars. Looking forward to this game. Looking forward to this series. I see that people around the league, pundits still believing more in the Oilers' opposition. I know some Oilers fans are loving it. They're like, hey, don't pick him as the favorite. Because against LA, I was actually stunned. And it shows you, I think some people, hey, it's hard to make predictions, but you got to dig in a little bit and not just go with your gut. But picking Edmonton to lose to LA, picking them to lose to Vegas, okay, I can understand that. Picking them to lose to LA made no sense to me. LA never beats them. It's a terrible matchup for the LA Kings. And even though the Oilers spotted them 2 games, because they weren't very good in those 2 games, then they won 4 straight. So now Dallas, Edmonton should be a good series. But the Dallas Stars, they've had to rejuggle their second to fourth lines because they're doing a whole lot of nothing. As I outlined, Robertson, Ben, Sagan, Duchesne. Those are arguably their 4th to 7th most productive forwards. They have combined 1 goal, 2 assists at 5-on-5 in the postseason this year. 1 goal, 2 assists. So that's not good. And that's why head coach Pete DeBoer is a pretty good coach. He's like, okay, enough's enough. And he switched his lines. We'll see Duchesne centering Johnston and Robertson, Steele between Sagan and Marchment, and it looks like Oscar Bach will come in with Dadonov and Ben, and they'll go 6 defensemen. Now, he didn't want to confirm that 100%, but that's how they practiced the last few days in Dallas, so I would think that's probably what we're going to see tonight. Let's get to our playoff report now, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Stop in at your Alberta GMC dealers if you're looking for a great deal this month, because right now you can get financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. See more at gmccanada.ca. It's Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joins us. Ty, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good, Greggs. I am good. How are you?
Hey, buddy, I'm just I'm filling out my Rolodex after talking to Sal the last hour and how we're going to get people to buy a pro franchise. It was a fascinating interview to me to kind of see all the goings on. And obviously it's, the world has changed a lot. And you're seeing it though, you're seeing a lot of players. Saw it Woodson with the Browns, minority owners, and you see some of the money these guys are making. especially in the NBA. Like how many NBA owners are NBA players, I think in the next 15 years are going to be former players that are either, half owners or 5-10% of teams.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I know the Buffalo Bills did something last year where, I mean, how much of it is like a big stake in ownership? How much of it is just doing the celebrity thing? But they announced like Vince Carter and a whole bunch of other athletes had like bought whatever percent of the team. So it is becoming a pretty common thing.
Yeah, very true. You look at the Oilers series tonight. Connor Brown. Now I know he was banged up. He missed practice, but then he skated. He's a game time decision. I think that line, him, Kane, and Henrique has been very good. So, but for one game, obviously you put in Arvidsson and away you go. But when you break down this series, what do you think is the key for the Oilers to have success?
I think it just keeps going back to the depth, right? Like you look at that series against the Kings, they won an elimination game where Connor and Leon weren't overly productive. You look at game that game they finished off in Vegas in Game 5. Connor and Leon weren't overly productive. Granted, no one was, but you could go back through that series and look at the game where it was that the Brown, Henrique, and Kane line that get the 2 goals early on. Like they've won games when Connor and Leon haven't been at their best, if you want to put it that way, because they've gotten such big contributions from the rest of their lineup. So I'm always of the belief that, McDavid and Draisaitl are eventually going to get theirs, and they'll probably go on some supernova run at some point here. If you get that combined with the contributions from the rest of this lineup, then I just really don't see a path for Dallas to beat them 4 out of these 7 games. Like if everything is clicking for the Oilers in that forward group and they're playing just that complete style that they did against Vegas and towards the end of the LA series, again, I just don't think this Dallas team has the horses to get through it.
Yeah, well, their horses are going to have to get going, that's for sure, other than their top line. And what about Rantanen? 19 points, leads the NHL in playoffs. Now, he has played 2 more games than McDavid, who has 17 points. But Rantanen has 17 points in 5 games, right? It's 3 3-point games, 2 4-point games. But in the other 8 games, he's only had 2 points. It's kind of like all or nothing with him. And really, in some of the games, it's been like in a period, he's obliterated you. 4 points in a period. Oh, here's a hat trick in a period. Oh, here's another hat trick in a period. If you're the Oilers, obviously I think you want Draisaitl's line, but which defense pair do you think is going to see Rantanen's line the most?
What defense pair? I mean, on one hand, you could look at what Klingberg and Wallman did against Jack Eichel and be like, hey, why can't you trust them in that situation? But I think I'd go with Kulak and Bouchard. Again, get pucks out of your own end efficiently. You still have Brett Kulak there who provides that defensive conscience. So I would be going kind of power on power. I think that's how I view this series. Again, if the Oilers' depth pieces can keep competing and you can just find a line that can just saw off with Mikko Rantanen, it's almost like in the past how you'd view teams matching up with the Edmonton Oilers. It's like, oh, if you can saw off the McDavid-Draisaitl matchup, you should win everywhere else. So I have no problem going power on power here and saying, if it's Leon is stapled to that Rantanen matchup as often as you can get it. And your top D pairing with Kulak and Bouchard is going to be stapled there too, because you have just such a high amount of trust in everyone else in the lineup. But I like what you brought up about Rantanen and just sort of his streakiness, Greg's, because through 4 games in that Colorado series, the narrative was absolutely not, boy, did Colorado mess up with this trade or whatever. Like Rantanen's last basically game and a half is what flipped the narrative there. Like, I don't know. He's a really streaky scorer. One thing that I think is going to be really important is staying out of the box and not letting Rantanen get a handful of puck touches on the power play and let him start feeling himself. Like, you need to keep him quiet. You don't want to poke the bear. You don't want to give him any sort of juice. Because, yeah, again, you can look, the end of that Winnipeg series, he didn't score the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, no, not at all. And he, he's been big when he's on. He gets like 1 goal, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, here we go, and he just rolls over teams. So we'll see how Edmonton does there. The Oilers, from 2020 until 2023, they couldn't win a game 1. They lost every one. But under Knobloch, they're 3-3, with 5 of those 6 games being on the road. They've improved a bit. Games 2 or 3 still not great. But then later in the series, they absolutely crushed teams 16-2 in those 18 games compared to being 7-11 in the first 18 games, in the first 3 games of a series. I think that shows the adjustments that the Oilers make. They figure out kind of the tendencies or the weaknesses of a team, and then they exploit it. Do you think the Vegas series, though, because they got off to a good start, we've seen Edmonton improve their defensive game. It's been solid. It got great here the last 7 games. Do you think they figured out how to have success early in a series, or do you need to see more?
I still think I need to see a little bit more just because they didn't start particularly well against the LA Kings, obviously going down 0-2 in that series. So yes, it's great that they played as well as they did in that first game against Vegas, but they also did need a really late goal, or they needed a tying goal early in the third, then a late winner from Zach Hyman to get out of that game with a win. And it obviously flipped the momentum of the series. So again, with that only happening, what was it, 10, 12 days ago, you'd think that this team can kind of sit there and say, all right, we remember what that good start did for us in terms of setting the tone for that series in Vegas. Let's do it again. And also, I know some people are making a big deal. Oh, they've had 6 days off. They're never good when they come in after a long layoff. Look at what happened in Florida and Carolina. But I think this is just totally different. I think having this Oilers team be rested is really, really important. And also, it's not like Dallas is coming off 2 days off. They also had 4 days off. So the gap between days off for these two teams, it's not like it's as egregious, if you want to call it that, like it was in that Carolina-Florida series. So I think the Oilers, as they've gone on, they've shown us at a lot of turns that they learn from their past. They learn from their mistakes. You mentioned adjustments. Maybe this early series thing is just going to be another example of that, where they've finally shaken it off and they're going to show tonight that, hey, they're a mature, legitimate Stanley Cup contender who's been through basically every scenario that you could go through in the Stanley Cup playoffs the last number of years. Maybe they're going to show tonight that, yeah, that whole starting slow thing that they were known for the past couple of years, it's a thing of the past.
The Draisaitl shutdown Eichel line is very good. And it is weird, though. You've got the league's best goal scorer, and I think it's great that you put him in a check-in role. I have no problem with it. But when you play with Kapanen and Arvidsson, and I know Kapanen scored the overtime winner. Podkolzin. But you're kind of limiting his chance to be a big-time offensive guy, right? Like it's kind of a unique dynamic right now. And I wonder if all of a sudden it closes down, if we see Kane maybe play with Draisaitl at some point.
Yeah, and I even think, and this is something Chris Knobloch's usually pretty good at or pretty open with, is like, listen, if they get an ozone draw and Dallas is off an icing or whatever, yeah, sometimes he loads up McDavid and Draisaitl, but maybe in this series we just see a little bit more where it's like, okay, Kane hops over instead of Kapanen just for this one shift because you recognize it as like a prime offensive opportunity. The other thing is, like, Jack Eichel was really, really good at preventing chances as well. He's known as a good defensive center. Just looking at some of the numbers from that Rantanen, Granlund, Hintz line, like their expected goals for percentage and a lot of that, it's a lot lower than you'd think for a team that's been actually outscoring their opponents as much as they are. So there might be something in this series. Like, I'm looking, even though they have a 77% actual goals for percentage, they have a 47% expected goals for percentage, which I know at times is like a pretty flawed stat. It can't be taken as gospel, but it does show that they leak a lot of chances. So this might be an opportunity where Draisaitl's more than capable of shutting him down, but he might actually get some more offensive looks than he did back in that Vegas series against Eichel, where it was more of a low event battle.
You look at the special teams. Now, the Oilers, last year's special teams was huge because their penalty kill didn't allow a goal in 6 games, which was pretty remarkable. Again, I know Pete DeBoer was talking about that today. He's like, wow, we were 0 for 14. I think that, played a big factor in it, which is true. The Oilers are over on the road on the power play so far in 6 games. Now, their power play at home is great, but on the road, it was brutal. And even in the Vegas series, it was only 9%. I was looking at, like, their power play still creates chances. They're just not finishing. Was this just a case of once you get one, or are you concerned about the power play?
I just find it so hard to be concerned about a power play that it traditionally has been elite. Like, they've been so good for so many stretches in the past that I'm not willing to say something's broken here. I maybe wouldn't mind if you went back to Zach Hyman in front right out of the gate a little bit. It's a better pure finisher in my eyes than Corey Perry is. And listen, Perry has been fantastic, and I'm not trying to discount that, but we've seen this power play work at north of 30% when Zach Hyman's in front. I wouldn't mind just seeing a little bit more Zach Hyman and look to get him going a little bit. But I just, again, you said it, they're generating at a really good clip right now. I think at times they're maybe still trying to be a little bit too perfect with their shot selection. And look at that Game 4 winner against the LA Kings in overtime, where it was just put a puck to the slot. They had an extra body in front, right? Because it was McDavid kind of layered with Corey Perry as that pressure. And then a puck just squirted out to Leon Draisaitl on the side. Right now, it feels like they're just too almost set in their structure of everyone stand in their spots, and we're going to try get the perfect scoring opportunity. I wouldn't mind a little bit more chaos here. And maybe if you wanted to try something new, maybe you pull Ryan Nugent-Hopkins off the unit and put Zach Hyman and Corey Perry on the ice at the same time and just try to create and thrive on a little bit more chaos. I think they're maybe missing that little bit of an element, and they're just too stuck on, okay, things aren't working right now, so let's just keep trying things that have worked traditionally. A shot from the point by Bouchard, trying to find Draisaitl in his office. I wouldn't mind a little more artistry from those obviously special offensive players.
Ty, it looks like Ekholm, there's a chance he'll play at some point in the series. It's definitely not going to be the first 2 games in Dallas. We'll see if it's game 3 or 4 in Edmonton. But let's say he does come in. Are you going 6th defenseman his first game, or are you going to take a page out of Dallas's book and go 11-7?
I'm going to take a page out of Dallas's book. I'd go 11-7, and I think it might even be, again, who knows where we are when it gets to game 3 in this series. But like you just talked about, do you try to free up Leon Draisaitl to play with more offensive wingers instead of just having with Kapanen and Podkolzin? Well, if you go 11-7 and you load up a couple of decent offensive wingers in your bottom 6, all of a sudden you can have Draisaitl with a shutdown duo. You can have Draisaitl or McDavid with another good set of skilled wingers in the bottom 6. So that's a plus for me. And then the other plus is obviously you could ease Ekholm into this. He hasn't played in a while. The last time he played, we were talking about it the other day, he fell down the 2 times or the 1 time he got clipped. Like, I would just be very, very nervous with whatever the nature of the injury is, that Matthias Ekholm comes back, he gives you 7 minutes, and it's like, oh, he can't go anymore. And now you're stuck with 5D, and it's the playoffs. Who knows if it goes to overtime? Like, the risk of going 12-6 just isn't worth it for me, especially when you can sit and point to the other benefits, like giving Connor and Leon back on home ice with last change, a few more shifts and some good matchups. There's a benefit to going 11-7. I don't see a major benefit aside from having consistent forward lines, I guess. I don't see a major benefit to 12-6.
I'm totally with you. Not early on, especially. Give them a few games. And, that's why I think Dallas will likely go 12-6 tonight. Heiskanen in game 3 against Winnipeg, he was up to 24 minutes a night, and he looked unreal. And, he was rushing the puck. I think that's obviously going to be a key for Edmonton. We know that Dallas, and hey, they stifled Vegas. Vegas was the best team in the league at scoring off the rush, and the Oilers said, okay, you know how many goals off the rush they allowed in that series? 3. That's it. So, that's obviously a key. Now, they shut him out a few times, so that obviously helps. But they really limited him off the rush. And Dallas, I'm not sure they're much faster than Vegas. If the Oilers can shut down Dallas's rush game, I think they've got an outstanding chance to win the series.
Absolutely. And listen, you want to talk about shutting down offenses as well. The LA Kings from the trade deadline on were first in the NHL in goals scored. And I know LA was definitely scoring a lot early on in that series, but there came a point, think of game 5, where it was like, no, we're going to start limiting them, and then some switch flipped. So yeah, I mean, I don't view Dallas as all that different than Vegas from an attack perspective. Everyone's talking about Heiskanen and Harley, but I'm hearing similar conversations to what we were doing with the Vegas blue line before the series, and they looked really slow against this Edmonton team. So as much as you can talk about, Heiskanen, Harley, how good they are at transporting the puck, I look at the bottom part of that Dallas blue line, and I think they might struggle with the Oilers' forecheck and getting pucks out of their own end cleanly. So, again, puts a little bit more pressure on the Oilers' depth pieces to keep doing what they've been doing through 2 rounds.
Tyler Remchuk joins us. Who's your unsung hero of round 3 for Edmonton?
Unsung hero of round 3. I mean, it's hard to say Evander Kane. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be Vasily Podkolzin. This is a guy who just buzzes around too much, and you can kind of roll your eyes at this and be like, Tyler, we've been saying it for 70-some regular season games and all through the playoffs. Like, he's always in the right spots. He buzzes. He's playing with Leon Draisaitl. He's a first-round pick. There's obviously some amount of offensive talent there. Like, eventually he's got to get hot, right? And it might be banging your head against a cement wall, I suppose. But I just choose to believe that a guy who works as hard as he does, creates as many turnovers as he does, and has a willingness to go to good areas, I think eventually pucks start going in for him. He's got to start shooting the puck, though. Like, he still passes up a lot of opportunities where and I remember a goal he scored against Pittsburgh this year where he skated in over the blue line, took 2 strides, and just wired one. And then, I swear we haven't seen him shoot a puck from that spot a second time this entire season. So I would love to see Podkolzin get some confidence and get going, and he's going to get the minutes to make an impact.
Ty, should be a good one, my man. We appreciate it. We'll chat with you tomorrow on The Rundown.
We will. See you, Greggs.
There you go. That's Tyler Remchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Face-Off. We are live. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th. Your place to watch the game tonight. Should be a hell of a match. Can't wait. You've been waiting. You've had a week to relax. We got a lot of texts to get to. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Do you like I think this break is too long for fans based on the reaction we're getting. Guys, the break's too stressful. I think you probably think about it more. I think that's valid because they play the game tonight. You got the game. Then you think about the game tomorrow, but then you're talking about the next game. So it is definitely a little bit better that it comes too much. So we'll take a break. We got 2-minute warning with Cam Tate and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Brad Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about, like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day, like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this, because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Finning sales event is this Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning. Kick off the weekend with a huge sale where you can demo all the latest cat equipment. Plus, get 0% financing and a free cat cooler with equipment purchase. Test your skills with a mini operator challenge for prizes and grab some food. Big day, big savings, big machines. Don't miss the Finning sales event this Thursday, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning in Edmonton, 10910 170th Street.
This is the rhythm of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers Hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.347. Oh, that's a great song, buddy. Great tune. And Oiler fans are hoping for a great performance tonight. Game 1, Oilers and the Dallas Stars. Make your way home. You get to On the Rocks early. Remember, broadcast start time, 6 o'clock, puck drop around 6:20 tonight. The Oilers and the Stars. Last night saw the Eastern Conference Final get going, and Carolina, sadly, doing what they do in the Eastern Conference Final, lose. They've lost 13 consecutive games in the conference final. 13. Like, how do you not even win one? It's different teams, different guys. I get it, but swept in 2009 to the Penguins, swept in 2009 to the Bruins, swept 2023 to the Panthers. Now they lose game 1 last night. Ugh. Like, I look at Carolina, and I say it all the time. Hard team works really hard. When push comes to shove, they don't have the difference maker. They tried to get him. They had him briefly. Probably didn't help that their owner was cheap and put his girlfriend up at a hotel at the airport. But Mikko Rantanen, no thanks, didn't want to stay. So now they'll look. We'll see if they can get a superstar. I know a lot of people say, they should get Mitch Marner. Okay. Do you want your superstar to score some goals? Then you might not want to get your Mitch Marner. Not a goal scorer. Scored 30 goals twice, sure, but he's not a big-time goal scorer. But point producer, playmaker, great. They need a shooter. They need a finisher. They need a difference maker. And Marner, through 9 years, is not a difference maker. So I don't think that would be the answer for me, especially at 14 bills. Are you kidding me? Right? Like, I think at the right price, Mitch Marner would be a great value to your team. If he's going to get the 13, 14 mil that people are talking about in free agency, that's going to be a team and now he might take a bad team and they look competitive and be like, okay, great. I don't see him as, if he's your lead guy, you're not going very far. If he's one of your top few guys, sure. If he's your lead guy, nope. Do not like it. Do not like it at all. What I do like is a 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Of course, Cam was born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. And due to his disability, always wanted to be on radio. Couldn't do it until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Tonight, that boat is the ice, and the big ones we're fishing for, they're the biggest saves. The tap-to-tape passes that make you gasp, the hits that echo right up to the cheap seats, and of course those beautiful twine-tickling goals. And speaking of eager, you've got your seasoned anglers, the ones who know every current, every secret spot. Then you've got Corey Perry. This guy, if the team bus for the fishing trip leaves at 5 a.m., Perry's been up since 3, probably already visualized a hat trick of 50-pound salmon before the sun even thinks about peeking over the horizon. 20 goals this season. Incredible. But it's that hunger, that relentless drive at nearly 40 years young. That's the stuff of legends, folks. Now, I hear the whispers, the cautious optimism. It's hard for anyone in the Oilers organization, from management down to the players, even the fantastic office staff, to come right out and say it. Are they a better team than last year? The team that went deep but ultimately fell short. They're humble. They're focused. They don't want to jinx it. But you know what? I will right here. Jason Gregor Show. Clear as a prairie sky after a thunderstorm? Yes. The Edmonton Oilers are a better team this year. And it reminds me of watching young talents grow, like your son, Benny, or young Connor Halley, full of potential, learning the ropes. Every year, they get a little bigger, a little stronger, a little smarter. Well, this Oilers team, they've hit that growth spurt and then some. They're not just bigger, they're better, more complete, more dangerous. And it all starts to unfold right before our very eyes tonight. Stuart Skinner, the confidence this kid is playing with right now, it's infectious. He's standing tall, making the big saves when they matter most, and giving this entire team a backbone of pure Alberta steel. He's not just a goalie. He's a wall with a swagger. My prediction? Oilers in 5 tonight. 4-2. Oilers empty net. 2-minute warning. Jason Gregor Show. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sports 1440.
Ooh, Tater with the 5-gamer. I like it. Be bold. Be bold, saying Oilers in 5. We got a lot of text to get to. 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg's interested to know if you think Heiskanen is better than Bouchard. Well, not so much in the playoffs. Here's a fun stat for people. Did you know that in the history of the NHL, no player has improved their offensive production more in the playoffs than from the regular season than Evan Bouchard? Evan Bouchard in the regular season is a .69 points per game player in his career. Pretty solid. In the playoffs, he's 1.09. He jumps up 0.4 points per game from postseason or from the regular season to the postseason. The next closest is 0.26. Jay Drouin, who is a center who played from 68 to 81. And you got to remember, like, Bouchard's a pretty good offensive defenseman. He's not a guy who, just gets hot for a bit. Like, you look at where he's at. He's going to pass Guy Lapointe and Zdeno Chara with his next playoff point, which will be his 71st. He's only played 64 games. Chara played 200 playoff games. Guy Lapointe, hell of a Hall of Fame defenseman, played 128. So him and Heiskanen are very different styles. I think if we're talking in the regular season, Heiskanen is more consistent than Bouchard. I don't think there's so much debate on that. The numbers will back it up. But if you look in crunch time in the postseason, Bouchard's been better productively. His defensive awareness, competitiveness is right on par. Now, he doesn't skate like Heiskanen, but Heiskanen doesn't pass or shoot like Bouchard. So it all depends. When it matters most, it's hard to argue with Bouchard's numbers, both offensively and even defensively. He was only on the ice for 2 goals against 5-on-5 against Vegas. 2. So, and I like Miro Heiskanen a lot. A lot. But they're different. It's hard to, I think Bouchard, because of some of his big errors in the regular season, and at times, he doesn't look like his stride, he's got an awkward stride. So he never looks smooth or fluid, especially when you compare him to guys like Makar or Quinn Hughes or Heiskanen. So those guys, I think, have more flash for sure. But if we're looking at production and then we're looking at goals for, goals against, and all those numbers, in the playoffs, Bouchard has been better. All career in the regular season, Heiskanen has been better. But in the playoffs, you'd have to go with Bouchard. That's kind of how I see it. Hey, Gregor, Marner is a Canadian Elias Pettersson. Ooh. Well, no, see, the difference is Elias Pettersson could at least score goals. All right. Marner's been pretty consistent, I would say, more than Elias Pettersson in the regular season. No question. Like, if you look at Mitch Marner, you say, okay, you know what? This guy's going to get us 90 points. And what has he got? What has he got? 5 seasons of 90 points? 4 or 5, I think. So he's been pretty consistent there. Like, that's kind of what he is now. 97, 99, 85, and he only played 69 games that year, 102 points. So he's a 90-point guy, right? He did finally score 100. Now, he's definitely more of a playmaker than Pettersson. Pettersson's got one of the best releases when he decides to use it. So, but because I would argue that Pettersson's probably more inconsistent in the regular season. I don't think any of us can really debate that. Just look at the numbers. They're not good enough. He's got to be better. So But I'm going to be fascinated to see, because I think it's fair to look at Elias Pettersson and say, what's he going to be next year? Right? There's no JT Miller, so you can't use the excuse of JT Miller, right? So Elias Pettersson's had one 90-plus point season. He had 102 points. He had 89. No other points, no other seasons over 70. Last year, the guy had 15 goals and 45 points, making 11 sheets. He ain't close to Marner in the irregular, but in the playoffs, he's already got 8 goals in 30 games. Marner has 13 and 70. He's not a goal scorer. So they're different styles. They're obviously different positions. But if your argument is if your point is inconsistency, then I think that's valid. Right? I am fascinated to see what happens to Pettersson in Vancouver. You saw Adam Foote in his press conference. I think they're going to try to do a little TLC with him and see if that helps him. Taco was a little bit more tough love, and I don't think it worked. So. Hey, Gregor, when was the last time McDavid scored a goal? Ricky from the Moose. Ooh, that's a good question. McDavid's got McDavid actually has more goals, I think. I got to look back. I think for the first 2 rounds last year, he had 2 or 3 goals. And this year he has 3 again. All right, so I'm trying to think. He scored against Vegas. I'm just trying to remember which game it was that he scored against Vegas. I think the game they lost. I think that's when he scored his goal. So, but here's the thing about McDavid. If you're looking for something tonight at playalberta.ca, Connor McDavid has played 15 game ones. He has 30 points in game 1. Draisaitl has 28. And somehow the Oilers haven't been great in game ones. It's a little bit odd, but those guys have definitely produced in game. Well, heck, they produce all the time, but they've really produced in game ones. So, McDavid's gone 2 games without a goal. It's not a big deal. He's got 17 points. I'm not too worried about McDavid's offense, right? He tied the game. Now, a little bit lucky goal, but still, he got credit. Went off McNabb's foot, right? Tied the game. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Are you planning a summer road trip? Well, make sure you stop at Fountain Tire. Tire checks, oil changes, alignment, and brakes inspections. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for some summer driving. Make your appointment at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers Stars winning game 1 of the Western Conference Final down in Dallas. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. We've got pre-game coverage with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson getting going at 5 right here on Sports 1440 in the association. Knicks and Pacers meeting in New York. Tip-off at 6. That's game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final off the court. Canadian Shea Gilgeous-Alexander named the MVP. According to reports, the Hamilton, Ontario native beat out Nikola Jokic and after he finished first runner-up last season to the Nuggets star. He joined Steve Nash as the only Canadian to win the award. Major League Baseball. Jays taking on the Padres once again. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. You also have the Royals right now leading the Giants 8-2 in the 8th. And in the 7th, Twins trail the Guardians 2-1. Later on tonight, Diamondbacks taking on the Dodgers. You got the Athletics and Angels, and the Phillies head to Colorado. Earlier today, Orioles doubled up the Brewers 8-4. It was the Tigers over the Cards 5-1. And the Mariners get past the White Sox 6-5. And from the NFL, the Tennessee Titans have signed number 1 overall pick quarterback Cam Ward to his 4-year, fully guaranteed $48.7 million contract. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Dallas Stars analyst Daryl Ray and Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station.
CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches,
we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the
After 3 o'clock, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show.
Sports brick.com and use our store locator to find a brick store
Sports
near you.
1440. Sports.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need
Jason
cameras.
Gregor Show. Sports 14.
The men and women of
Dang, last season you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the
We designed
Great tune, and Oilers fans are hoping for a great performance tonight.
Get the Action Electrical Project team on your site.
40 update brought to you by
all the men and
Fountain
women of
Tire.
action, operating throughout Alberta and actionelectrical.net.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, a little Motley Crue. Shout at the Devil on game day, Wednesday afternoon, May 21st. The Oilers and the Dallas Stars. Just over 2 hours and 13 minutes to puck drop tonight. Of course, here at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave 118th, your place to watch the game. It's going to be busy. It's going to be hopping. It's Wing Wednesday. They'll have lots and lots going on, so enjoy that. Of course, the Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and many people are wondering, hey, what about McDavid? He hasn't scored a goal lately. Well, McDavid in game ones has been pretty productive, more in the assist category. He has 30 points in game ones in his career, 24 assists, 6 goals. Leon Draisaitl, 14 goals, 14 assists in game one of a series. The Oilers are at PlayAlberta.ca, the underdog tonight on the road in Dallas. So if you like that, check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. As we go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical, where you can take action on your savings. If you are been thinking about it, you want solar for your home or your business, they can help you out. ActionElectrical.net, former NHLer, longtime analyst for the NHL and the Dallas Stars, Daryl Ray joins us. Razor, how you doing, man?
I hope Shout at the Devil wasn't a commentary on me on that lead-in.
Oh, well, Razor, you probably didn't used to have the big hair, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thick back in the day.
Oh, God. Why wouldn't you like it? Come on, Motley Crue. It was awesome. Let's talk about the Stars. And first of all, man, I saw a healthy Miro Heiskanen really in game 6. It looked like, they weren't limiting his minutes anymore. He was playing 24 minutes, and God, he's such a smooth skater. He's just a great player to watch go up and down the ice. With him now looking kind of fully back, are you expecting him to go to 12-6 tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone's wondering about here. Likely, but it's a decision from different angles. I think a little bit, by going 11-7, it was easier for them to get extra shifts in for Mikko Rantanen. And that, to be honest with you, like when Heiskanen was out in that Colorado series and early in the Winnipeg series, it was like that group really banded together and played extremely well. And, part of it is probably that too, like who do you pull out? At the same time, they were, I don't want to say dragging their heels, but a slow go late in that Winnipeg series to make sure that he was going to be okay. And you could see him in the 3 games he played, ramp it up game to game. And as you mentioned, like in game 6, he looked every bit a healthy and up to speed Miro Heiskanen. So I guess you'd be leaning toward 12-6 tonight, but we'll wait for warm up and what they dole out after it.
Daryl, of course, Oilers fans, they don't miss anything. They're all fired up about your comment that you think the Stars can flush Edmonton easily. Why do you think that is?
Well, you got to listen to the whole thing, though.
Yeah.
If they get erratic goaltending and the Stars play to the level that they have shown at times in the first 2 rounds, and the fact that they're, unlike most teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs, they're not dealing with attrition. They're actually getting healthier. Jason Robertson really hasn't been able to connect yet. And, that's a pretty significant guy. The last time he scored a playoff goal, he scored 3 of them against the Oilers in game 3 last year. And then getting Heiskanen back, and instead of, rolling 5 D-men through the first 2 rounds and wearing him and others kind of down, he's fresh as a daisy heading in. At the same time, if the Oilers look like they've looked at times in the playoffs and they get good goaltending or great goaltending, and my God, Skinner was fantastic in the series last year, and he comes into this one on a roll. They have their game breakers, and they seem to be embracing checking better than they ever have, maybe. Then, as I said, it's going to be 7 and it's going to be a classic. And, you know, you get into a game 7, Stars have some things on their side. Their coach is 9-0, but it's a bit of a toss up. So I just think if they play to their level that they think they're capable of, and the Oilers have some vacillation at critical positions, then sure they could. I mean, they're starting at home. They've been fantastic at home, unlike last year when it was a bit of a struggle on home ice and then they had to clap back on teams. So, you know, hey, look, I work for the Stars. Of course, I'm going to say they can win.
No. Hey, I had heard the whole thing, and sometimes people only quote some of it, so that's why I wanted to give you the opportunity to give your full answer, which is good. Now, you played the position, Daryl, and Stuart Skinner, it's an odd thing. The guy has shown an unbelievable ability to be resilient. He got last year, you know what, he started okay, then he got pulled in the Vancouver series. He comes back in his last 15 games. He was outstanding in the Stars series specifically. Like, he won them by himself, game 6 for sure. And then this year, he starts slow. Although this year, actually, I don't even think he let in a bad goal. He just didn't make a big save in those first 2 games. Then he comes back, and now he posts back-to-back shutouts. How much, like, you played the position. I know it's super hard, and a lot of goalies will tell me it's almost more mental than physical at times. You just get, and it seems like Skinner, it's almost like, you know, he needs to, you know, hey, buddy, you got to wake up here. And then he wakes up and he plays better. What do you make of a guy who 2 years in a row has gone from struggling to playing great at the hardest time of the year?
It's the most impressive thing about this generation of goaltenders. They are as mentally tough as any generation at that position has ever been. They have lots of tools. Obviously, there's more help for the position than there's ever been, but a lot of it's, I mean, you're back there, you're alone. There's no D partner to bail you out. There's no line mates. You either get it done or you fall flat on your face. And they just seem to be able to stay in the moment. And like you said, like just compartmentalize things and get over bad stretches, or, you know, analyze it in a different way. I mean, guys used to get rattled and crushed by stuff, and then, you know, all of a sudden the series is over and they got to refine themselves maybe the following year or in the summer or in a different locale. Whereas when you look at the modern netminder, I mean, they're very athletic. They're extremely athletic. They're extremely well coached. They have better equipment than any generation has ever had. But it's from the shoulders up where I think they've separated themselves. And even when you watch these guys, you know, they'll give up just an absolute rancid goal. And then they're able to just, you know, have a moment, take a sip of water, look up, watch it again on the big screen, see what went wrong, you know, and then move on from it. Just once they've moved on from it, they've moved on from it. It's pretty impressive. And he seems to have that ability. I don't know fully where it comes from, but it's extremely impressive. And I don't think I could have done it back in the day.
Daryl Ray joins us, analyst for the Stars. Daryl, Miro Heiskanen, Mikko Rantanen came in at the deadline. Took him a while to get going. This playoffs, though, in some of the games, he's been absolutely off the charts, right? In hat tricks in periods, 4 points in periods. He's got 17 points in 5 of their games, and then 2 in the other 8. Is it been snake bit in the other 8? Have teams played him different in those 8 games where they're able to limit him? Because in the other games, it's just like he says, okay, I want to take the game over, and he takes the game over.
Yeah, well, I mean, early in the Colorado series, there were a lot of emotions banging around, I would think, and it likely affected him a little bit, you know, to get slapped up against the former club, and, you know, you're supposed to be a difference maker, and just weird. I think just the weird aspect of playing against the Avalanche, where he'd been for a decade and won a cup, and then, you know, once they put, actually one of the things that triggered it, they put the Finns together. They slapped a line together with Granlund, Hintz, and him, and they ignited a little bit. And a lot of it was Mikko, who's just, he can be just an animal, just an absolute force. He's a huge human being and a game breaker. And he did that late in the Avalanche series. when they were in Winnipeg, they got shut out twice.
Yeah.
And the Jets are just an excellent overall defensive team, and they had a game plan and they were able to lock down on him there. But when they won in game one, it was like him again. So he's shown the ability to kind of go off, and you can see it when you watch from a distance, even within games. Like, he has that ability. Like, I mean, the Oilers have a couple of those guys where they can just get a hold of it and sort of infantilize the rest of the players on the ice. And you're like, my God, like, he's at a different level. And he's done that at times. And the other part of it, though, with him, Jason, is like his defensive game and his commitment to defensive play gets thrown under the rug a little bit. He doesn't get enough praise for that, to be locked in that way. And he's, he's been a pretty vocal guy, I guess, around the team. So you're getting a full package out of him. And, even in the games when maybe he hasn't gone off, you get disappointed when he doesn't have 2 or 3 points in a game. Now that's how great he's been in some of them. Even in those other games, he's contributing, and he's certainly not a detriment in any way, shape, or form. He's just getting locked down on from the other side.
Hansen, Granlund, when you look at Pete DeVore having last change in game 1 and 2, I'm assuming Heiskanen and Harley are going to see McDavid's line a lot. Are you expecting Rupe Hintz to be the line out there against him a lot as well?
Maybe. I mean, Pete DeBoer hasn't really been an overly matchy guy with forward lines. He likes to get his D pairs matched up, and it's pretty obvious. I mean, Miro Heiskanen and McDavid are going to be likely a major matchup. But Thomas Harley has blossomed too, just in the absence of Heiskanen, and he's taken his game to another level, and they're very comfortable. Like he had to play an awful lot against McKinnon in the opening round, and was able to handle most of that, or at least curb some of it. So I don't know. I mean, he's pretty comfortable. But one of the major talking points heading into the game tonight is just the different line combinations underneath of the finish line. As they understand that checking is going to be a big part of it, and they're going to get their offense from some details without the puck. But they've been getting almost absolutely nothing from the forwards underneath the fins, and they feel like that needs to change.
Yeah, well, actually, I did my series recap, and I was surprised. Like Duchesne and Robertson and Ben and Sagan, like they got 1 goal 5-on-5. Now I know Robertson's coming off of an injury. In the regular season, Johnston, Robertson, and Ben were a hell of a line, and then Duchesne and Marchment had a lot of chemistry, and they produced very well. But I looked when the new lines came out; those guys weren't together. Do you think he'll go back to that, or is there any reason why he's not going back to that Ben? Johnson Robertson combination?
Yeah, I mean, you can always go back to it, right? And if things aren't working, you can go back to familiarity and do some of that. But I think it's probably worth looking at some different things, and they would have their own internal matchup ideas and why this might be able to work in that, because the stuff that was working before just was not clicking. And the idea that they're going to be able to win, this series and 4 rounds of the playoffs with just a few fins in your power play scoring is probably pretty far-fetched. So we'll see. He has switched things pretty quick during the regular season and in past in the playoffs when things aren't working. So I think they have their fingers crossed that this might be a good formula, and they'll move forward accordingly.
If they go 12-6, it looks like Bach would come in, but would Lyubushkin come out and they keep that Petrovic Bichelle? Because that pairing, I know it's a third pair, Daryl, but all their analytics, their shot fours, their goal for, it's actually really good. So would they stay together as a third pair? And is Alex Petrovic basically just, we only play him in the playoffs in Dallas. We don't keep him in the regular season. We just play him in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's like an Edmonton version of Raul Ruotsalainen back in the day when Flash would just keep him in Europe and then bring him in for the playoffs. Look, they've played fantastic, and they've given the Stars decor a different look in their third pair where they're obviously bigger. Bischel's a mountain of a man, and Petrovic's a big guy, and they play physical. So it's different that way. And I'll be honest with you, like they've played well, and they played within themselves. They don't try to be something they're not. So the coaches can trust them. And with that, you might be correct with that. That might be the way they go, but I have no idea as to exactly what they would do. I know the other guys aren't getting pulled out. Cody Cece's staying in. Ethel Lindell's staying in. And then Miro and Thomas Harley are staying in. So it'll be some mix of those three.
Lastly, look at Ben, Seguin, and Duchesne, right? Like those guys have all been very productive players at different times of their career. Seguin's coming off the injury. When you look at just the lack of 5-on-5 production, is it snake bit? Are they getting the chances, Daryl? Or what do you see from individuals of those three that you'd like to see them do a little bit better in this next round?
Yeah, I mean, it's the playoffs, and some guys go dry, and then they score, a big goal. Not the volume, but the quality gets there. Like you look at Tyler Seguin, who's coming off of hip surgery and getting back up to speed with everything. Like they have 3 overtime wins in the playoffs. He scored one and set up the one other one to get them through Winnipeg. So, it's pretty important, critical execution from a veteran guy, and his faceoffs have been important. Jamie struggled a little bit with faceoffs, which was odd because he usually that's one of his top skills on that left side. And it's just he's almost played like a physical young guy. You know what I mean? Like he's been rambunctious. He's been consistently physical. It's just the offense hasn't been there 5-on-5. But and Matt Duchesne, it's sort of the same thing again. Lots of chances. They've hit posts, stuff like that. And he's been excellent on the power play, but just nothing clicking 5-on-5. And I think they were really hoping that the stuff that you were talking about earlier with those line combinations, that they would refine that and they could just sort of roll it out again come playoff time. But it just has not manufactured in the same manner that they did previously. I'm telling you, like the first month and a half, 2 months of the season, Marchment, Duchesne, and Tyler Seguin might have been the best line in the league 5-on-5. And they just haven't been able to refine that. So, I mean, it takes all kinds. They like the mix they have where there are some young guys and there are some veteran guys, and they just, I'm telling you, like this is one of those teams that just finds a way to win. Doesn't always look pretty. You got to squint your eyes every now and then. Their penalty killing is their heartbeat. They get through some bad penalties and they find a way to be one goal better than the opposition. They did that in the opening round. They did a little bit in the second round against the Jets, and they're hoping the same formula rolls out here against the Oilers.
Well, Daryl, it should be a hell of a series. We'll look forward to it. Enjoy it. We'll see you in Edmonton.
All right. See you, James.
There you go. That's Daryl Ray, analyst for the Dallas Stars. Got a lot of texts coming in. Guys, how come everybody else thinks the Oilers can't play defense? Well, I think it's fair, right? Impressions are hard to change for a lot of people, right? So you'd have to watch the Oilers. You'd have to look and see, man, they barely gave up many high-danger chances to Vegas or LA. Really, in their last 7 games, they've been exceptional defensively. And if that continues, they took away Vegas's best aspect of their game, which was scoring chances and scoring goals off the rush. They only gave up 3 goals off the rush the entire series. Dallas had the second most goals off the rush in the regular season. If Edmonton takes that away, they got a really good chance to win. But the Oilers' power play is going to have to be better, as is their penalty kill. And if their 5-on-5 play keeps the same, they got a really good shot. Take a quick break. We will come back. Spec will join us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal. My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
We've got some good news for you. Employee pricing is back at St. Albert Dodge. You pay what we pay, and if you're in the market for a new vehicle, it just doesn't get any better than that. You'll get a great deal, and it's so easy. No complications, no negotiations. The pricing is simple. Your biggest challenge will be choosing the vehicle you want. Employee pricing. Come see us now for the best selection and the best pre-tariff prices of the year. And see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
I'm tired of waking up tired.
Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at Cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, baby, you're getting closer to puck drop. Just under 2 hours tonight. Oilers and the Stars, game 1 of the Western Conference Final. The winner looks like they're probably going to take on Florida. Carolina, are they like they can't win a game in the conference final? Are they going to win 4 of the next 6? I guess it's possible, but I don't know, man. I think I had picked Florida before, and last night watching that game, I saw nothing that would make me feel less confident that they are going to win. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show. We are live and on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, on 118th Street. Your place to watch the game tonight. So come in. They got great specials on. It's Wing Wednesday, and also after the game, if you're a believer they're going to win, there'll be karaoke night at It's pretty packed here on karaoke night. Last Wednesday was a gong show. Gong show after Game 5. People loved it. Let's get to the spec report now, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists, where they will ensure that everything from running water to the freeways are up and running smoothly. It's GS Construction, as Mark Spector joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Oh, buddy, big game tonight. I guess, first of all, you've seen him skate. I saw him skate in Edmonton. I know Knobloch mentioned Connor Brown's a game-time decision. I think he's still ailing a bit from that block shot in the Vegas game. Do you think he plays?
I don't know. He didn't skate, right? He kind of, I didn't see him on the ice. I saw him at the rink, and Arvidsson skated on that line. So, I guess there's two. First of all, I preface this by saying no one tells us anything. I have no way to know how seriously injured he is. He could have a broken leg or he could play tonight, right? So let's make that clear. But the one thing I want to say is I think it's an easier decision to give him a little rest when you're pulling a guy like Arvidsson off, back into the lineup. He's played for you all year. He's a veteran player. He does lots of things well. He's probably got better hands and scoring touch than Brown. Maybe there's other things he doesn't do as well. Maybe he's not as physical, but if Brown needs the rest and you're putting Arvidsson in, I don't see where you're losing a lot of ground there. What about you?
Well, the penalty kill. That's where like Brown and Janmark, because if you watch, Henrique and Nugent Hopkins come out for the face-off, and the minute they ice it, even if it's 5 seconds, they go off and Brown and Janmark come on, and they're kind of their main penalty killer. So I do think that that's an issue. Now, I know that Podkolzin jumps in when Brown takes a penalty, but so, he could do it. And they have Kapanen. Arvidsson's obviously not going to be a penalty killer for Edmonton. They tried him at the start, didn't really work. McDavid and Hyman are now doing it more, so you can get away with it, sure. But like Brown's speed, man, like he's such a good forechecker, right? And he's good at knocking down pucks with his stick. And I do think they'll miss him. The other thing is he stays on his feet infinitely more
than Arvidsson. Yes, he does. I think today the way Brown's playing, you want him in your lineup. I'm not saying you don't. If I have a choice, I'm playing Brown ahead of Arvidsson. All I'm trying to say is you're not putting a guy in there that you think, oh, man, I can only play this guy 4 minutes, or I got to hide this guy. Arvidsson's a veteran player. He's going to be just fine if he plays tonight.
Yeah, no, that's valid. I would agree with that. So, we'll see. It's interesting, though, Spec. Like, he did skate in Edmonton beforehand, so I don't know. Maybe the flight and the air pressure, block shot, who knows? So we'll see how he goes. I guess we'll find out in warm-up or not if Brown, obviously, if he's not on the ice, he ain't playing. If he's on the ice, he's probably playing.
Yes.
The Dallas Stars, I talked about it before the series, Spec. I did all my number crunching, and their second, third, fourth lines were brutal. So their head coach has decided to switch them up. Did Pete DeBoer give you any inclination? Like, we know that Heiskanen and Harley are playing McDavid. Like, that's captain obvious. But, do you think, like, is it going to be a split? Like, I'm curious. Rupe Hintz is still a pretty good defensive player, and he's their best skating center. Like, it would be odd for me to think it's not going to be Rupe Hintz getting McDavid.
I would think so, too. That's, usually we see the other team's top line on McDavid is what we usually see. Like, I think you'd rather, I'm pretty sure DeBoer would rather see, in terms of getting offense from his top guys, I think he'd rather see them play against McDavid's line than a line of Draisaitl and Kapanen and Podkolzin, who will then just say, okay, we're just here to check you guys. I think that, let's face it, McDavid's line, they push for offense and they can be vulnerable to get scored on sometimes. That's just a fact. I'm not complaining about his defensive game. Don't take this the wrong way. But he's an offensive guy that's trying to beat you and try to get points and try to produce. So, yeah, I suspect we'll see head-to-head tonight. It's in Edmonton when Knobloch gets the last change, right? Let's see how it works. Let's see who wins the battle over the first two games. That'll probably dictate what we see when Knobloch gets to start making that call.
Beck, the Oilers, you know what? It's funny. Like, hey, winning the cup is hard. And so this is kind of year 4 of them, for me, being a legit cup contender. Doesn't mean you get to the cup every year, right? They've only made it to the final once, but they made it to the quarterfinal, the semifinal 3 times, and they've lost to the cup winners 3 years in a row. So they've been a good team. Yeah. They're always making improvements to their game. I think their defensive game in the last 7, I know they're like, I don't want to talk about it. Well, don't be pouty pants. The fact of the matter is you've never been this good defensively. That's just a fact, right? That's just to ask them about, hey, your defensive game's really improved, to me is an insult to them because it's never been this good for this long. The other thing is, Spec, for a year from 2020 to 2023, they couldn't win game one. They lost every one. Now, under Knobloch, they're 3-3. They've gotten better. We saw the Vegas, you win game one, boom. They ended the series pretty quickly. What are you expecting from them tonight in game one? And do you think the break is a negative or a positive or just a nothing?
I think the break, if it is a negative, it'll be a negative for one period. And then after that, you can't tell me that break, big picture, 30,000 feet viewpoint is not a good thing. It's a good thing. Maybe you start a little slow today because you haven't played for a week or whatever. Sure, I'll give you all that. But no, the break is good. And I really think that I feel like losing the first 3 games to Florida last year was a tipping point for the Oilers. They've been a poor starting team in the playoffs. They've obviously started tons of series in the road because they don't win their division, but they haven't started well in a lot of series. And it happened again against LA. And I really think that they all look back on that Florida series and say, it wasn't lost at the end in game 7. It was lost in the first 3 games. And I feel like this team is more prepared and more urgent early in series. I really do. I know the Vegas series, okay, maybe it doesn't make sense in LA. They weren't very good for 2 games, but I just feel like that Florida series opened some eyes that we wasted this series early. We didn't lose it late. We lost it early. I think you'll see a very concerted effort to, obviously they're trying to win. I think they'll get one of these 2 games. They've been a pretty good road team here in the playoffs, man. Their road record is excellent. They just won 3 straight in Vegas. That is something that nobody saw coming, and frankly, no one ever does. So, yeah, you'll get a really good version of the Oilers right off the bat here. This team is more urgent this year than they were last. I think they realized the less games you play, the better chance you have to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, 100%. You watched Florida-Carolina last night, Spec, and it was kind of more of the same for Carolina in the 3rd round and Florida being pretty dominant.
Yeah, I'm not, you wonder if Carolina has what it takes when the game gets both skillful and fast-paced and physical. They can play you on skill. They can beat you with they play a fast game. They move the puck. They got good players. And then you throw a team like Florida that does all that too, but they come at you physically and they try to win the net fronts. Carolina didn't win a net front last night. I wonder, it's a little bit like the Leafs, but they're better. They keep hitting the same wall every year, Carolina, don't they?
Yeah, well, the Spec is their problem isn't from a lack of effort. It's because they don't have a game breaker. Right now, they tried to get Rantanen, and then, for a few different reasons, he didn't want to stay there. Probably didn't help when the owner was cheap and putting his girlfriend out in a hotel by the airport. I always wonder, you're a billionaire and you're going to play cheap on small things. Like, why? What are you doing? Not saying that had he done all the things that he would have stayed there, but you get off on the wrong foot pretty quickly. And guess what? Guys, I'm not going to sign here. I got lots of options elsewhere. So especially now, you can make all the money. It's all the small things that will help out, which is why I have zero time to listen to Toronto people talk. It's tough about. No team gets treated better by their organization. No players get everything. Trust me, my nephew was blown away at the stuff that you get in Toronto compared to other places. He was like, oh my God, it was unreal. So don't tell me that they're not given every opportunity to succeed there. I look at the Canes and they just don't have a game breaker. When it's all said and done, Sebastian Aho is a really good player, but I'm not even sure he's a top 20 forward. Maybe right near the end, but he's definitely not a top 10. He's not a top 15.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think when you see a team, what's their record? And aren't they on an 0-9 run in Eastern Conference Finals?
No, 0-13.
0-13. I missed a series.
Yeah.
So, that's not just a little, that's a large sample size of conference championship games here. You've clearly got a team that's good enough to get to a certain point and not good enough to get any further. So I would think that, listen, the guys running that team are the geniuses, man, right? Eric Tulsky is renowned as a hockey genius in terms of the analytics side of this thing. And Dello, just ask him. He's the smartest guy you ever met. So if those guys can't figure it out, I guess it can't be figured out. But you and me are a couple of dummies in the media, and we're looking at that Carolina team and saying, you're not good enough to get past the third round here every year. There's something wrong. So if Tulsky and Dello can't figure it out, it can't be figured out by my way of thinking.
Yeah, well, their first year there for Tulsky, and he did swing big on Rantanen, so I think he knows what they're missing. But maybe they'll go get Mitch Marner. Maybe that will solve their problem.
Yeah, that'll help you get over the top.
A small winger paying 14 sheets who doesn't score you a ton of goals. No thanks. You know what? At 10 million, I don't have a problem with him on my team. But at 14 mil, no thank you.
Where's he going? Where are you picking? Who gets him? Who takes him?
I'm going to say Utah.
Are you? I'm going to say LA.
Oh, LA. Yeah, well, LA, I could see that. Because LA's got some other big bodies around, and I think Marner can help your team. Like, Kempe's a scorer, right? You play him with a goal scorer. Now, he has been playing with one of the league's best goal scorers for years, but it doesn't help in the playoffs. And that's now I've always said this. You put him in a room with Drew Doughty and Anze Kopitar, he'll figure out what it takes, to win and show up at the key times. Because I don't even think it's not a lack of effort. Sometimes it's just a lack of you think you're working as hard as you can until someone comes along and you're like, oh damn, I'm not working as hard as I can.
Yeah. It's no. It's they're all trying, man. Don't tell me Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner don't want to win. But they don't know. There's things they don't know how to try. We watched the old Oilers when they had zero leadership and the wrong guys, and their dressing room was no good. And it's such an opposite thing now. This dressing room in Edmonton, they've been through it. They know what to do. They know how to act. They know what's important. They know what's not important. A guy like Darnell Nurse is so much more mature than he used to be. I mean, he's been through it, man. They've done everything here except for win. Toronto's not even close to that in that dressing room. And you can't import it all. You can't import it all. Those guys never figured it out. They're going to go somewhere else. And, as individuals, Mitch Marner's a good player. Right. You're right what you say. I'd set him right between Kopitar and Doughty and see if that doesn't change things a little bit.
Yeah, totally agree. Spec, enjoy the game tonight. Should be a good one.
I'm pumped, man. Let's go.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions, and Walker's going to join us. We got the pregame show coming up. Oilers and the Dallas Stars game, one of the Western Conference Final. Live and on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street. Your place to watch the game tonight. Stop in, enjoy Wing Wednesday. You got karaoke after the game, all sorts of food and drink specials during the game. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta sports and casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling Jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Legacy, Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for a restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations in Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, and Leduc, and start waking up refreshed.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service take, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.449, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave and 118th Street, getting set for the game. We're about an hour and a half away from puck drop tonight. Yes, it'll be closer to 6:20. Broadcast starts around 6 o'clock, right after our pregame show. But remember, puck drop isn't until 6:20, so you don't have to rush home. Get home safe. The last thing you need to be is an offender bender on game 1 of the Western Conference Final. So give yourself a little space, serenity now, and away you go. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more is what they do. Mattresses, furniture, appliances, big screen TVs, they got it all. And 25% off mattresses right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1 for you today. Let's get your pick for the series and game prediction, Oilers Stars.
Well, I'll stick with my Edmonton in 6 prediction. I think the Oilers are going to surprise some people again in how well they play defensively. I think, though, that the Heiskanen returning from injury is a big boost to Dallas. And I got to think at some point some of their offensive guys are going to show up and wake up here. So we'll see. But I still like Edmonton. And tonight, Connor McDavid, I just have a feeling that Connor McDavid is going to have a Connor McDavid game. And the Oilers will win 4-2.
All right, so 4-2 series, 4-2 game. I'm similar to you. Oilers in 6 would be great, but I'll undercut you, so we're not the same. Oilers in 5 then. And I'm going to take a 5-2 Oilers win with an empty netter in this one. On the Stars roster, though, for question 2, who's the player to watch? Maybe call it an X factor if you'd like.
So outside of the obvious ones?
Yeah. No, you're probably not going to go with Rantanen here.
Yeah, I'm not taking Rantanen, so you're not taking Heiskanen. Well, I think for Dallas to have success, they're gonna need more from Matt Duchene. Matt Duchene has done a whole lot of nothing so far in the postseason for them. So if I'm saying an X factor for Dallas, if they want a chance to win, then Matt Duchene's got to have a pulse in this series, because he has been extremely quiet, especially 5-on-5. And the Oilers, they don't take a lot of penalties. So, they don't get a lot of power plays. So I know a lot of people say, oh, special teams will matter. And it does. I'm just not sure if it's going to matter that much. They're going to need to get some offensive production from Matt Duchene. He doesn't have a goal yet in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to go with a guy who, and very good player we know that came back from injury, but someone who I've said plenty of times on this show, an Oilers killer, Jason Robertson. Didn't have a goal against the Winnipeg Jets, but if he gets going, man, he can make you pay and make you pay quick. So I think he could be a guy to watch out for the Edmonton Oilers. Question number 3 for you. The Oilers now a whole week off. So I want to ask you, where do you come out on the rest versus rust debate?
Oh, taking a rest all day long. I firmly believe that your team can be professional and find out and be ready to go. So you'll take the rest because it's cumulative. And so you get some guys healthy, like look at Connor Brown, for instance. What if they had to play 7 games? Would he be able to play right away? Right? Like this is a week after and they're still resting. Like he blocked that shot on his foot, Cons. Like, how many bones are there in your foot? Right? I think it's like 100 and something. Like, does he have a hairline fracture? Maybe. Now, you can have a fracture in your foot and skate because it's not a pressure bearing one, right? So it's just painful. So we'll see, right? It might just be a real bad bruise, right? A bad bruise sometimes is worse. So, I will take rest all day long. At most, maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes might be a problem, but after that, I think the rest is always a benefactor.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can vary situations. If you're a team that's playing really good, you'd probably just want to get right back out there and not have to worry about any rust. For the Oilers, though, like it's a no-brainer, especially with all they went through down the stretch with the injuries this season. You take that rest and just say, okay, well, if we have a lull to start the game, that's okay, but let's get into it quickly. For the Oilers, I think McDavid and Draisaitl, Connor Brown, guys who are big beneficiaries of getting that rest. Question 4 for you. The NFL is going to introduce the Protector of the Year award given to the league's best offensive lineman. So looking around other leagues, is it time that the NHL gives us another award for defensemen? Whether you want to call it best offensive defenseman or best defensive defenseman, is it time we add that to the list?
Well, you don't need a best offensive defenseman. You just have the Norris Trophy. I guess you could go for a best. You have the Selke for the best two-way forward. You probably could have an award for the best defensive defenseman.
I would love to see that. I just, obviously it would give us something to talk about, guys who maybe don't show up all the time on the score sheet, but maybe voted on by the players or something like that, where you could say who is the toughest defenseman to play against. That's something I would love to see the NHL look out one day and hype that up just a little bit, the defensive side of the game. Final question for you today is Mr. T's 73rd birthday. Whenever I think of him, I think of the classic line, I pity the fool. So in honor of that, what is your favorite catchphrase from movie or TV shows?
Go ahead.
I got to go Urkel. Did I do that? Absolute classic line. You could drop it in almost any situation. I know not everyone loves Steve Urkel, but as far as the catchphrase goes, I think that's top notch and one that he could repeatedly use.
Oh, man. I think mine's easy because it makes me laugh every time, and a lot of people have used it. Dope.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson. I'll go with the dope because many of our listeners, I think, can relate to having a dope moment at times, whether it's themselves or seeing somebody do it themselves. So that's what I will go with. I like it. Coming up, we are live and on the Rocks, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. We're getting closer. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage. Walker's going to join us. We've got Landon Farrar coming up in the pregame show. Oilers and the Dallas Stars Western Conference Final. The Oilers 8-3 all-time in Conference Final Series. So they will look to go 9-3 this year against Dallas and beat them for the second time. Only the 10th time in NHL history that the two teams have met back-to-back in the conference final. And in the first 9, 5 teams won both. Oilers will look to make it 6. Let's get to the con man. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. It's taking flight with their legendary new Dragon Fruit lineup, introducing the Dragon Slayer Smoothie, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Conquer your cravings today and stop in at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Just over an hour away from puck drop is the Oilers down in Dallas, getting set to take on the Stars. Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. Pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Jason Gregor coming up next right here on Sports 1440. In the association, you got the Pacers and Knicks meeting in the Eastern Conference Final from MSG. Tip off on that one at 6 o'clock. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays in action. They're going in 10 minutes as they host the Padres once again down at the Rogers Center. A couple games going on right now. Midway through the first, you got Red Sox and Mets scoreless. Finals from earlier this afternoon at the Mariners getting past the White Sox 6-5. Royals double up the Giants 8-4. Twins fall to the Guardians 5-1. And in extras, Orioles get past the Brewers 8-4. Some news from the NFL. Number 1 overall pick Cam Ward signing his entry-level deal with the Tennessee Titans. It's a 4-year contract for $48.7 million. And SGA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander named the MVP of the NBA according to multiple reports. He becomes only the second Canadian to win the award, following Steve Nash, who did it back in 2005-2006. That's going to do it for us here on the Gregor Show. Continues on with pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Gregor, and Donovan Paulson right here on Sports 1440. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever aqua range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Day or night, tasting just right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations at Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, Leduc, and start waking up refreshed.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with a tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Sports 1440 presents the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show, powered by Cross Mitsubishi at 34th Avenue and 96th Street. They offer a huge selection of new and used vehicles. Check them out today. Now, here's your pregame host, Andrew Walker.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to On the Rocks. What a great spot to do a broadcast from. It is the Jason Gregor Show.
It's like you're on stage, buddy. It's great.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Were you a band kid?
No.
You ever performed?
No.
Were you in dance?
I did some piano recitals, but
I did a couple of those.
Yeah, no band for this guy.
And tonight's karaoke night here.
Oh, buddy, now karaoke.
Oh, really?
I've dominated this stage a few times. Karaoke. I actually won a
right after the show.
True story. I won a karaoke contest in LA.
Oh, so you're like good
at Six Flags. Well, I don't know if I was that good or if there was just no good competition that day. But back in the, no one could really rap. That was probably why I won.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Snow.
Little bust a move.
Informer.
MC,
bust a move. Okay. Yeah. Game one. Dallas Edmonton conference final, much like last year. It's the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show. A little different locale. We got you for the next hour before the game, 5 to 6 here at On the Rocks. The postgame show, I'm going to watch the game here.
Yep.
I'm going to get in the car, drive down to the Ice District, not too far, and then the postgame show will be live from Smoke Barbecue and Bar on 103rd and 103rd.
You're just a radio whore today.
It's it's kind of like a pub crawl before game one.
Nothing wrong with that. That actually, you know what? God, that'd be a fun idea if you got a few pubs that you watch the first period at one place, second period another place, third period. Problem is, fans are superstitious. If they were leading after the first period, they wouldn't want to go.
Well, yeah, no, that's very true. What you could do, because what I love about playoffs, especially on the weekends, is the energy, the electricity. Like I'll get downtown. I'll get to Smoke like hours before the game. I'll sit at the bar or whatever. I'll talk to people because just the Ice District electricity is awesome. And people file in, and people in Jersey, especially on the weekend, right? And that was very cool that we got the game Saturday against Vegas because we haven't had very many Saturday games over the last 4 years, home playoff games.
No, not many.
We get to see it all. A little rainy today, but already, Sunday 1 p.m. I don't even know what to feel about that. It's going to be
I got
it's a little early.
Yeah, I got the number crunch because a lot of people are like, oh, the Oilers suck. And this generation of Oilers do not suck. They're actually 28, 16, and 6 in matinee games. So their win percentage and their point percentage is almost identical than their overall winning and points percentage in the regular season and playoffs from 2020 until now. So, I talked to a few of the players, and they don't have a morning skate, so you don't have to get to the rink early. All right. They actually don't mind it, right? They say, hey, you come home, it's a matinee, you get up and you just go to the rink once. You don't have to go back and forth.
Once you're in the game,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. It can't, right?
You're in the conference final. You think you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not feeling great. I'm in the conference final. No, it's not how.
Well, listen, some people, like my fiance Angie, who've met, for instance, 1 p.m. game. I don't know if that would be good. She wakes up and she's not. It takes her. She needs 13 hours of sleep. So maybe, I don't know, maybe some players are like that where they really need all day in their routine. But it is a routine thing too. But again, it's the same for Dallas on the other side. But again, 1 p.m. is going to be interesting. Cross Mitsubishi pregame show. Weiss Johnson text line is open. 1-833-401-1440. Landon Ferraro is back. He was at a wedding in Italy, so he was there for a week. He missed the entirety of the well, he thought he'd be back late in the second round, and then Edmonton
dominated.
Yeah, in 5 games, right? So it was a quick 5 games with Ethan Morrow, and Landon's back tonight. He sent me, man, I'm burying him early. Like we're 2 minutes into the pregame show here. He sent me a video against his better judgment of him wiping on the dance floor at the wedding.
Might have to post
in Italy.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it was no, I wouldn't do that to him. It wasn't his fault. It looked like a very slippery dance floor. He said after the 4th person bailed, they moved the dancing inside.
Wow,
because it was dangerous. But
that's some playoff caliber dancing. They're getting into it when you're wiping out.
It's very funny until he told me he tore his labrum, so that's not good.
He tore his labrum dancing.
He's hurt.
Oh, tearing your labrum, like that's no joke, man. That's
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, and listen, Landon, he never struggled with injuries in his NHL
that's a
career. Like,
Band-Aid.
never, yeah.
Holy cow.
So
dance injury, it's a tough one.
All right, yeah, Dallas, Edmonton. So I went on Curious's show this morning, and we were exploring some angles, and I said I was feeling kind of deja vu-y because I feel like the narratives, other than Rantanen and no Ekholm, I guess, this feels exactly like last year. Most people are picking Dallas, right? It's Ottinger and Skinner. I just feel I feel that last year I was very surprised that everybody was on Dallas, and I thought it would be a good series. Thought it'd be a long series. Was not surprised the Oilers won in 6 games and went to the Stanley Cup final. I'm expecting a tough series, a long series. I would be more afraid of Colorado, to be honest. Like everyone's talking about Mikko Rantanen. You're dealing with him. I'd be more worried about dealing with Rantanen, McKinnon, and Makar if I'm the Edmonton Oilers. Dallas is a very good team, but Winnipeg was no good in round 2. They should have lost to Colorado in round 1. I mean, Colorado had them on the ropes in Game 7 before Rantanen took over.
Yeah.
I feel like the storyline's like it's just going back a year. To me.
Yeah, I look at the Oilers, and I think the Oilers are better. Kane's healthy. Draisaitl's healthy.
Frederick's new. By the way, watch him this series, man. He's had another week off. I think he's a real interesting guy.
I think Edmonton's defense overall moved the puck better as a unit. I'm not sure they're as good on the penalty kill, but that's such a small minutes of the game. If you just do all right, you'll be okay.
I mean, numbers would indicate, obviously, because last year.
But last year they were perfect. They didn't give up a goal in the series.
This is where people started to notice it, because I think games 1 and 2 in Dallas they split, and that's where Connor Brown kind of started to become this story. And ironically, he's still game time, or is he out?
I think he's going to play. I know that he's ailing from blocking the shot against Vegas. And, people had asked us earlier, does the break benefit you? 100% it does. Because, if there's a game 6 or 7, or, maybe they played this 3 days earlier, Brown might not have played. But I think, you block shots with your feet. Everybody knows there's a risk of, whether it's a deep bone bruise or whether it's a broken bone. You got 1,000 bone, not 1,000, but, you got tons of bones in your feet. So, I could see it just being a sore factor for him, but, skating's obviously his forte, right? He's good on it, but you know how it is in the playoffs. Walks guys will, you get something frozen, and maybe by the 3rd period, it bugs you a little bit, but I'd be surprised if Brown didn't play.
Unless he played for the Leafs, then it might be too tough to. Bobby Bond was the last guy that played hurt for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Can you we haven't talked since? Can you believe that? I know you talked about a lot on your show.
Dude.
Can you believe that?
The amount of excuses that are
getting. Oh my God! Like, did you see my favorite thing I've ever seen? Probably. Did you see all their media availability and their big slogan?
No. What was the slogan?
So I mean, you would never notice it until like now, right? They're doing their post, and Craig Berby's up there, and their big slogan, which grammatically is. So it says no grit, period. No grind, period. No greatness, period. And that was there's a big sign as they're doing their exit. And it's not like no grit, ? Then it was just no grit, no grind, no greatness.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
It was almost like
so good.
I see what they were doing before, and then afterwards.
It's not
is that why we lost?
Someone covered that sign up. Maybe they thought it was worse if they covered it up.
Yeah. No, not good. Not good at all.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, what else? So Landon will be back. We'll talk to him. The River Cree over under. We haven't done this for a week. I'm a little rusty. River Cree over under's coming up. I got a good one tonight. So get ready on the old text line. We won't quite know the lines and the Connor Brown situation, I suppose, until the pregame skate.
Yeah,
the warm ups. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and the line matchups is going to be a fluid thing, obviously. My impression would, you're going to leave. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of changes for the Edmonton Oilers. You're going to leave Kapanen and Draisaitl going to stay on that line with Podkolzin. A little tougher to match up with a winger in Rantanen, I suppose, than a true center in Jack Eichel. But you go back to that matchup if you're Edmonton, right?
Well, I think Edmonton would take it for sure because they look and say, hey, if we can break even against that line, the way their other lines in Dallas haven't been scoring, you're like, hey, we think we can beat them. And I think
so. You sacrifice Draisaitl, and you don't really care about the other two guys.
And I look at Edmonton, and McDavid's line's obviously their go-to line, 5-on-5, and so they say, hey, if we don't have to play against Hintz or Rantanen as much, because I don't like Dallas. I was looking at their line matches, and they're much more about defense than they are lines, right? So that Heiskanen and Harley,
well, the one pairing,
they're going to want them as much as they. Although Lindell and Ceci played a lot against McKinnon, right? They're not. It's funny. I know there's lots of fans that think Cody Ceci sucks. I'm like, okay, but then how come every coach that's ever coached him and every defense coach
all he does is play.
Plays him in 20 minutes a night, and they play him big minutes, right?
I'm a big Ceci guy.
He's not a great puck mover. I get it. He's got some limitations to his game, but him and Lindell, it'll be McDavid. The one matchup they don't want is their third pair against McDavid, right? Now, you're still going to get 2 minutes a game. If you just look at every game, it's very rare that one coach can get, and say this one D pair is never playing against this line. You'd have to really hard match for that to happen. It just doesn't seem to. You get in the flow, and guys want to go, and if you're not going to start double shifting guys all the time because of it. So I think that it's more so going to be the Heiskanen and Harley, and that's going to be McDavid. And hey, McDavid sees the best players all the time. So I really think the Henrique Kane combination, which has been good, is going to have to produce. And then, obviously you want to get I'm kind of torn on Draisaitl because when you play Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen, I know they scored the overtime winner, so they're going to say, Gregor, they still scored a big goal. Totally valid. And in a low-scoring game, they only needed one, and it was a big one. But when you play Draisaitl with those two guys, you're kind of saying, you know what, we're just going to put you in a checking role. And I know it worked against Eichel. I don't love it, but if you win, then you can't question it. But I do wonder if you get in a game where you're late, do you then maybe put Kane with Draisaitl for a few shifts?
Yeah, this series is going to be, and I think Knobloch's good at that. I think he has a good feel for his game and a feel for his guys and who's going. There's going to be a lot of adjustments. And again, with the Oilers and the Ekholm thing too, I totally agree with you, by the way, how you handle Ekholm. A whole lot of this depends on, are you up in the game? Are you up in the series? Are you down in the game? Are you down in the series? So much depends on that. And with Draisaitl, I know there's been this talk of like, hey, sacrifice his offense, and he did a great job against
worked.
Eichel, right? They won 1-5. All that said, Leon might be the first to tell you, like, we're just so used to see him taking over playoff series. And I don't know, maybe we expect too much. I felt like for a guy that, for my money, should win the Hart Trophy this year, he hasn't quite been like Hart level so far through 2 rounds, but we expect so much.
It's funny, like him and McDavid have both had, I think, really good playoffs, and you look at their numbers and they're still high just because they were like 2 points a game guys, that it's like, they're only 1.5 and 1.6, that it's like, oh geez, they're not good. But I just look at Draisaitl. The Oilers have been in 3 overtime games, and he has 2 goals and an assist in overtime. Like he still shows up when it matters most for this team.
Didn't he have how many? Didn't he have 5 OT winners in the regular season?
Oh no, 6 actually. I think he set the record.
So he has
8.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that must be. What's the record?
Well,
There's Sportsnet stats on this.
In one season, what would be the record? Good question. But he set 6 in the regular season. So there's not many guys who score even 3 overtime goals ever in one regular season.
Well, you see
in the playoffs
when they go to OT, and they're like, here's who has, obviously Corey Perry has 5 or whatever, but like these are Hall of Fame careers.
Like Draisaitl only has 2 overtime winners. They've just come this year in the playoffs.
And Ovi just got his first.
Well, lots of guys. Crosby only has 1.
Yeah.
Or maybe Crosby might have. Mary Lemieux one of the greatest goal scorers ever had no overtime winners.
No OT winners?
Yeah.
I mean, Pittsburgh didn't go to OT.
Messier never had one.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And he played 200 some games. Like it's, you know what?
McDavid has 2 now.
Yeah, McDavid has 2.
Yeah, series
Draisaitl has
winner.
2. Kasperi Kapanen has 2.
Has 2. Yes, I was. So that was, if you can believe it, that's actually not true. I was going to say, out of all my little stops in media, the last playoff series I covered was the Kasperi Kapanen OT winner against the Capitals for the Leafs, but that's not true. The Canucks had the weird bubble year where they won a couple rounds. I don't count that. I don't count anything those 2 years.
Well, you didn't get to go to the games.
No.
No.
Well, nobody did.
Well, I did. We was here. We were the only ones there. It was weird. It was the coldest, and the arenas are cold, but it is the coldest arena I've ever been in my life, because there's literally the players, the coaches, the refs, a few off-ice officials, and then, you know, there's only certain media. There wasn't many media people. Like, there was a few guys that would travel, and they quarantined for a week.
What a bizarre.
To get in. But it was,
Are
was
you like me?
very
Do
unique.
you just wipe a lot of that time?
Yeah, I don't really. I try not to focus on it too much.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, you know what, changed a few things. Like, we ended up doing my show from home that year, and it ended up being there for 2 years. So, you know, there was some good things that came out of it.
Well, even now, like you watch SportsCenter or whatever, and
Oh,
all,
yeah,
all
there's
the
way
analysts
more
are in their home
home,
office.
yeah.
Like, that's just an accepted thing
Yeah,
now.
now it's
That
because
never
they
was
look
a
and
thing.
realize,
it was
well,
lazy before.
Yeah,
right?
with good cameras, it looks the same. So you could do it. It's like here, right? We're on the Rocks. We're live on the radio. We're also live on YouTube. You know, you just get one high def camera and you put it right on your laptop, and boom.
Weiss Johnson text line, Sherwood Park Sean, does McDavid's 2 goals include the overtime Four Nations? That it does not. He scored against Calgary to win the series. He scored tonight, like this game, double overtime, game 1 in Dallas last year.
Yeah.
And so those were his 2. And then obviously, that Four Nations goal was a big one. So two thoughts, and one is
Four Nations would just be under a different category.
Yeah, I mean that's
pretty big goal,
again,
too.
that will be in his career.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his career highlight reel. I was thinking about a couple things today. For the Oilers going on the road, and I wouldn't call them the underdog. This is a pretty much a pick'em series. I think most people would agree with that. Last year, the Oilers were a decided underdog.
Play Alberta has them, though, as lots of they are
slight dog.
They're the dog tonight, and in the series they are
Slight dog.
a slight dog.
Yeah, I mean they don't have home ice. I get it. I get it. I would say the 3 most important series in the last, I mean, you could make a case that the Battle of Alberta was up there too. But for me, the 3 biggest stage series in the last 20 years for the Edmonton Oilers were the Cup final in 2006, the conference final against Dallas, because Colorado, they weren't ready, obviously, and then the Cup final against Florida. And you can say, oh, get the split. The split's important. I think all 3 of those series, game 1 proved to be a series-defining game. This is what I mean. Game 1 of the 2006 Cup final. I remember every second of that game. Heartbreaking. Get up 3-0. Prongers on the penalty of the night. Penalty shot goal. Make it 3-0. They need that game. They're up 3-0.
They're up 3-0.
They're up 3-0. Rollison gets hurt. Conklin comes in, pisses it away. Brindamore.
Well, no, actually, because he got hurt after the game was tied. Rollison came. They came back to tie with Rollison.
But the game winner was on Conklin's giveaway with a minute and a half to go. Right. So anyway, Oilers lose that game, a game that they should have won. And if they win game 1, game 6, we want the cup check. That's for the cup at home.
Yeah.
They had to go to game 7. They lost in Carolina 2-1. I'll skip ahead to the Florida game. The game that they didn't get that they should have got was game 1 in Florida. They got goalied by Bobrovsky.
Yep.
They win that game. Game 6 for the cup on home ice. Instead, you had to go to a game 7. It was very similar to the Carolina game.
Yeah.
Dallas, what was the difference of the Dallas series? They won game 1 in double OT
overtime
on the road. And then what happened? They 1-6 at home. Yeah. Otherwise, they would have had to go 7, and you might lose that game in Dallas. So as much as I with this Oilers team, if you get behind in a game, behind in the series, no one's ever worried. At the same time, it's been kind of proven in these big series. Game 1 is kind of the swing game.
Oh, it's massive.
It's
totally massive.
Maybe you eliminate that if you do win game 2, you come home with the split. But again, when the Oilers get out in front, I think everyone is almost surprised they won game 1 in Vegas, and then you're in the driver's seat, right? We're so used to this team coming from behind all the time,
Well, it's true. The Oilers, the stats under Knobloch are mind blowing. in games 4 to 7, they're 16-2. Games 4 to 7 in a series. In games 1 to 3, they're 7-11.
Yeah.
Right? Like 16-2. And so it shows to me that as the series goes, they figure out adjustments. They see what the strength and weaknesses are of the other teams, and they're able to exploit it. And now they did win both games against Vegas. Boom. Series over in 5. And so I think Edmonton can, game 1 is, and well, the other thing is game 1's one thing, but they're actually got a worse record in game 2 and 3 than they do in game 1 now under Knobloch, because they're at least 3-3 in game 1. And games 2 and 3, they're both 2-4. So they, a little early. I don't know if it just takes them a while. I do say that I think they learned last year that losing the Stanley Cup final, when they got down 3-0, they're like, even if we win any of those games, maybe we come back and win the series. So I think the Oilers, McDavid, those guys are so focused. You can tell that, they're a little crusty right now over every little thing, which I kind of find comical. But I think Edmonton's going to win tonight. I really do. I think they're ready. I think the rest helps them. And McDavid, you talked about it earlier, and he's been good. I don't think he's had one of those wow games.
I don't think he's happy.
And I
don't think he's happy with.
I think tonight he has a wow game. That's my prediction for tonight for McDavid.
Really quickly, because I know you got to go. You can't look ahead too much. However, are you of the school of thought that this series is the Cup?
Nah, it's hard to count out Florida, man. Right? No, I still. It's funny. I would take Florida to beat Dallas, but I think Edmonton could beat Florida.
And I mean, what a twist of fate! Edmonton gets home ice no matter what. If they win this series,
well, the West gets home ice, which is obviously nice for Edmonton. That's a rarity. Like, I wonder how many teams go to the Stanley Cup final and get home ice the first time in the final.
Yeah, can't be many,
like,
right?
Can't be many.
Yeah.
So that's a rare thing. But obviously they got to get there first. But having home ice, I think, would definitely help them. And man, imagine Edmonton for game 1 at home in the Stanley Cup final. Like, that hasn't happened since, maybe 88, because I don't think they had home ice in 90. So
87 Philly they obviously had home ice because they had game 7, right?
I think they had home ice against the Bruins, if I'm not mistaken.
90? No, because
80. 88.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because the Klima goal was on the road.
It was on the road.
Right?
And they got lucky because the one game got postponed and then they came back. That was the only one they ever won at home, right? They always won all their other cups on the road.
Right.
No, that's not true. They won 87 at home.
Cross Mitsubishi pregame show. Visit Cross Mitsubishi today. Drive your ambition, 9605. 34th Ave and Cross.
It was the only one they won on the road.
Mitsubishi.ca.
That's what it was. They've always won at home until then.
Until the 90.
99. So that was the one where they got to win on the road. So I think.
And then, 06 and last year would have been on the road too if the chance to win it. All right. I know you got to get going. We got to swap out gear here. So, yes, the rest of the pregame show is coming up here for Cross Mitsubishi at On the Rocks. Postgame show will be from Smoke Barbecue and Bar 103rd. Both places, great places to watch the game. So there you go. We'll be back. Sports 1440.
What keeps Alberta business moving? It's pallets. Whether you're shipping, manufacturing, or looking for in-house storage solutions. Hi, it's Andrew with the Pallet Recycler here in Edmonton, and we've been providing reliable, affordable, recycled, and custom pallets for local businesses for the past 30 years. Contact the Pallet Recycler at 825-474-1981 to find out why recycled pallets are the most cost-effective way to move and store your product. Learn about our recycling program as well at